Hey, as usual, we are just waiting for people to join. Though it took us so long to do the Karen Reed stuff. She already has like a second video up. She has 2 videos now that we haven't seen. I mean, granted, there's still like 5,000 other ones, but like she has 2 new ones already. Thought you were waiting for this one. Like, I don't know what she means by 1,600 victims. Like, what are we talking about? And becoming a meme? That's weird. Like, I'm guessing assault? Question mark. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because we have that other story that Dark Asia did about the guy who had like what 1,200 plus victims. I don't know what the number was, right? Like actual victims though, like assaulted and murdered. So is there going to be murder here too, or no? Of course, like I don't want to know it. We obviously have to wait and see what the video says, but also, is like the rule on YouTube still a thing? Like the first like 5-minute rule? Because I just used the word murder and it hasn't been the first 5 minutes. Am I in trouble now? And like I don't know. It's so like silly what you have to know and not know and say and don't say. Just a couple minutes. Oh, a minute now. I guess in what, 2 days again, we'll watch a new one, the TikTok one. That teen girl begs TikTok to find her mom's killer. That one. Since again, she's already has a new video that came out the other day. I feel like I was tempted to do that, but I think we need to go in order. Catch up in order. Hey guys, what's up? We're back with some more Reactions After Dark, and of course we're going to be watching China's Red Uncle / Sister Hong exposed with 1,600 plus victims, but became the biggest meme by Rotten Mango. Now obviously that is a title and a half. 1,600 plus victims, and then somehow the meme at the end, don't know what's going to go on with that. And like I was saying earlier in the startup, that we'll probably be watching her newest video in a couple days, as usual, every other day. I know I didn't do anything yesterday. I was doing some VTuber stuff. Hopefully I'll have another one done, another quote-unquote cutie done today or tomorrow. I don't know. There's something else I wanted to say at the beginning of this, but I don't remember what it was. So I think we can just get straight to it until I remember what it is that I wanted to say.
Bada bing, bada boo.
The city of Nanjing in China is probably the equivalent to Chicago in the United States. Just in terms of population, you're talking about at least 9 million residents, which means, theoretically, if somebody farts or sneezes on one side of Chicago, you would imagine that at least 8,999,990 people don't care and don't even hear it, don't even smell it. Maybe unless you're the mayor of the city or someone with 5 cans of WD-40 strapped to their chest and a lighter. It is very unlikely that one person's actions in a city as big as Chicago or Nanjing, China, you're probably not going to impact the whole city. July 2025, something weird is happening in Nanjing. The ones who know about it and are talking about it online, they're all boycotting any future travel into and through Nanjing. Like, you would think that there's an outbreak of some sorts. They're talking about Nanjing online as if something incredibly dangerous, contagious is spreading inside the city with the residents.
Okay. How is whatever happens, like, being talked about like this, right?
Some people online don't even want to come in contact with someone that's been in the city of Nanjing in the past year. These are...
Okay, what is even going on? That sounds weird. Again, I don't know what 1,600 victims mean. Maybe it's not. It isn't assault. Maybe it's something else.
There are people outside of Nanjing. Some people inside of Nanjing, nothing. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what people on the other side of the country or the other side of the world are saying about their city. In fact, there's this one guy, he posts online and he's just saying something weird has been happening. Okay, so he was on the street the other day. He lives in the city of Nanjing, if you need some context, which really isn't that pertinent, or so he thought. He was gonna go visit his uncle and he didn't want to go empty-handed. His uncle loves fruit. His favorite fruit is watermelon. He goes to the store, purchases the biggest watermelon that they have, which on second thought might not be the smartest idea because now he's hauling this massive watermelon down the block and a stranger stops him, literally smirks at him and sneers. He's like, what the hell is wrong with this stranger? Like, I didn't even bump into you. I didn't do anything to you. Going to see your old man?
That's crazy.
This guy online is like, I mean, I've lived in Nanjing my whole life. Strangers don't talk to each other. So
Yeah, that's like, how does he say, like, why is he just saying, going to go see your old man, right? That's weird. How would he know that, question mark? Unless they're just talking about Hong, question mark.
it's not like America where you make small talk. It's like everyone goes about their day. Everyone's busy. It's a bari type of hurry culture there as well. The tone is kind of malicious also, which is throwing him off. And it's so weird. Is he about to get jumped on the street for a watermelon? He responds, yeah.
Unless this person's like a bad guy and not just a random dude, random stranger who knows something that apparently the entire city doesn't.
Stranger looks him up and down and shoots him a look that can only be described as utmost disgust. Like if someone were to step on a cockroach barefoot in the middle of summer and then half that cockroach carcass just sticks to the bottom of their soul, that's what it looks like. And then the stranger just walks off. Mr. Watermelon has no clue what this entire interaction was about, but it's all connected. Mr. Watermelon, the internet boycotting travel to Nanjing, and somehow even that's all connected to Nanjing gyms and fitness centers that are all seemingly at the same time on the brink of collapse simultaneously. It seems like every single gym in the city is on the verge of shutting down. Some of them are even trying to sell private training lessons for $13.
I don't know if that's supposed to be cheap or not. It's already so confusing. I don't get like the watermelon thing. Yeah, I'm like trying to figure out like what's happening here, and there's not enough being said, I think, to know what exactly happens.
For 3 sessions, and they're still not selling any. And if you start tracing it all back to when this all happens, you can almost pinpoint a day that this all starts.
Like, I would assume if we're talking about gyms, maybe like this person was doing this stuff at gyms. I don't know.
July 5th, 2025.
Okay, so this is as new as possible. Like, barely over a month ago. I was not expecting that. She's doing a lot of new stuff.
It's the day that a person the internet has now nicknamed Uncle Red gets arrested. Because after Uncle Red's arrest, nothing and nobody is the same. How the hell is the entire city impacted by this one man's arrest? It could be the 1,000+ videos that he has on Nanjing citizens, secretly recorded videos of random Nanjing residents during the most intimate moments of their lives. It could be that, or it could just be that Uncle Red is kind of crazy.
It might kind of crazy. So we have someone who was recording videos of a hotel room, it looks like. Do they own a hotel room? Or not a hotel room, a hotel? Or something?
We would like to thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten Mango to support the National Immigration Law Center, one of the leading advocacy organizations in the U.S. dedicated to defending the rights of immigrants and their loved ones. This episode's partnerships have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. As always, full show notes are available at RottenMangoPodcast.com. A few very important disclaimers for this episode. We had our Chinese researchers help assist with this case, as well as to help navigate a lot of the social conversations that are happening afterwards and just trying to navigate the social context of everything. Today's case involves mentions of illegal distribution of intimate moments without a party's consent, video footage. Today's case is also unique in the sense that it's going to be discourse heavy. So the crime itself is ongoing, but much of the conversation and the internet reaction has become part of the case itself. Like, you can't really separate the two. It's not one where I can be like, hey, so I'm going to tell you about the case, and then maybe a few little internet comments here. It's so embedded. You can't talk about one without the other. Otherwise, it feels like you're not getting the full picture of what's happening out there. So I'm going to tell you everything that's been happening in the effort to present all sides of the case. Just because I'm telling you what people are saying online does not mean that I'm endorsing what they're saying or trying to make light of a situation. But like I said, the discourse is almost becoming bigger than the case itself. And to ignore that would not make it go away. I mean, it's still there. Just because we don't like to hear certain conversations doesn't mean those conversations are going to stop or they cease to exist happening. So keep that in mind. Now, the biggest note to go into this case is it involves a male identifying perpetrator who, by most reports and accounts, seems to only portray themselves as a woman online to lure in straight men to engage in acts. So with the perpetrator's end goal being to secretly film videos.
Okay, so doesn't own a hotel, question mark. They actually are just recording themselves doing stuff with other people. And then I guess selling it, question mark. Because I was gonna assume, like, okay, if we're talking about like hotel stuff, right, isn't that like the thing where if you're gonna go to a hotel, motel, etc., that you have to assume there's cameras everywhere and you have to check everything. Literally check things you wouldn't even like think, like an alarm clock or whatnot, right? Like, because they're just trying to make as much money as possible at these places. Well, there could be people there that are trying to make as much money as possible. Thus, they will rig their hotels and motels with cameras everywhere so they can sell the footage off, you know, etc., etc. So you got to be careful. Yeah, that's kind of like a boogeyman story about staying at places like that.
Our team had multiple extensive conversations about the best way to identify the perpetrator, and ultimately we decided, since there is zero public indication that the perpetrator identifies as anything other than male in any other context than when they're trying to commit violations for monetary profit, we will be using he, him pronouns. That said, we understand that there could be a slim possibility that the perpetrator is suppressing their gender identity since they may not live in the most progressive city in the world. There's no indication of that we found so far, but we just want to make it clear we are not intentionally, purposefully misgendering someone if that is indeed the case.
I figured with like the Red Uncle Sister Hong thing, she would give like a speech like this. She usually tries to like cover her bases.
Just in this moment, with the given information that we have, this is the most respectful decision that we could make. Secondly, regardless of the perpetrator's identity, their crimes are their own and are not representation of any group of people. In fact, cases like this can perpetuate negative, queer, phobic generalizations. And if those are the conclusions that one comes to after listening to the entirety of this episode, I would like to advise them to visit the nearest emergency room for possible brain damage. Thirdly, there is massive discussion surrounding full informed consent. As of now, none of the men in the videos have explicitly consented to the release of their footage. So keep that in mind. So with that being said, let's get started. Nothing gets people more violently riled up, in my opinion. I have never seen a group of people so quick to curse at each other, just like refusing to compromise, than a good old harmless conversation about who has better morals.
I was like, where's she going with that? Like, sure, that probably. You could argue that, yeah.
It's the moral dilemma. It is the quickest way to get people close to you to scream at the top of their lungs, because if you refuse to kill one person, then you're intentionally, knowingly killing 5 other people, so you're actually not a good person. However, because I am willing to kill one person, I'm a better person than you. I'm morally superior than you. But that's just the trolley problem. It's like the most calm, demure of all moral dilemmas.
Well, the answer to the trolley problem is to, well, I mean, we're past 15, right? I can say this. I mean, it's not really an option, but there is a third option, and it's that, you know, you die. I was going to say, like, you know, you exit yourself, but we'll say you die, because again, I don't know YouTube stupid rules. You don't run over either. You sacrifice yourself. That's the third option. You just die somewhere. I don't know how you would do it in this, like, the typical scenario with the trolley problem, but you would somehow end your own life to save the 6. Like, that's the best answer. I mean, if you have to make a choice, I don't know, make a choice, right? I'm not gonna say which one's the right one, but I think the third option of, okay, you sacrifice yourself instead, is like the better choice, right?
There's a man named Jonathan Haidt, and he's got a lot of very uncomfortable moral dilemmas that people like to debate and familial ties with after long-standing fights about who's the better human. Take, for example, a family's pet is killed outside in front of their house. They had heard that roadkill meat is very delicious.
Wait.
What?
This is a moral dilemma, okay?
Wait, what are we talking about? You're saying their dog, or like some sort of dilemma where your pet gets ran over, question mark, but you know that roadkill is delicious, question mark, or they say you're gonna eat their dog because it's now roadkill, question mark? Is that what I'm about to hear?
Family's pet killed outside, ran over by a car. The family had heard from previous conversations that roadkill meat is very delicious. So they bring in their family pet. Nobody is watching. Nobody knows the family is doing this. And they cook the family pet's meat and eat it for dinner. No.
Well, I mean, if this was America, I'm pretty sure you would get in trouble because you're eating dog, and I have to assume dog is like a protected thing that you're not allowed to eat. Obviously, that's not all over the world. So I feel like it depends on where you live. Like, if it's legal to eat dog, it, like, of course, it's like that's morally wrong, question mark, but you also have to take that into consideration if it's legal there. If we're talking about here, I would assume it's not. So yeah, you're doing something bad on two fronts. Like, you're eating your dog and it's not legal to eat.
Nobody saw them do this. Did the family do anything morally wrong? Some will argue, well, it's gross, but that's not the question. Is it morally wrong? And then they'll say, well, I guess the pet is already dead and it's their family pet. So if anyone's going to be upset about the situation, it would be them. And it's not like they're encouraging other people by doing it. They're not posting it online. Nobody saw them do it. I mean, it's gross, but is it morally wrong?
Again, it depends if it's illegal where you're at.
Jonathan then further asks, then consider this. A man goes to a supermarket once a week, buys a chicken, a dead chicken. And before butchering the chicken, he has intimate relations with the chicken, and then he cooks it and eats it by himself. He does not.
Bestiality, that's illegal. Of course, it's not right. I mean, it just depends on the laws, right?
Share the food with that.
Also, I don't know if I was allowed to say that word either, but you literally just committed a crime.
Anyone. He does not share the kitchen with anyone. He has no young kids in the house. Nobody sees him do this. He is a single man who does this in his free time. The question is it morally wrong?
Hello, Mara.
Is this guy?
He's an author. I believe he's a professor as well.
Got it.
And the question is not, is it gross? The question is not, would you do this? Do you want to be friends with Chicken Man? The question is simply, is it morally wrong?
I feel like that's not a good enough, like, scenario that's being crafted there. Because I think, I can't tell if the chicken's alive or dead at the beginning. I feel like maybe it is dead, but like it made it seem like it was still alive, which is like, okay, that's why, of course, it's illegal. So of course it's wrong. If it's if it's just like, you know, chicken meat. I don't know. Salmonella, that's my answer. Don't do that.
This is, side note, also why you cannot have philosophy majors over for dinner, because this would just end up in a bloodbath. Some would argue that this is an efficient use of natural resources. Others would say that there's a lack of respect being shown to a former living, breathing creature, which
yes,
they would deem personally morally wrong. That's what they're saying. Then comes another
desecration of a corpse.
Moral dilemma. Okay, then hold that thought. So you think the act of doing this to a dead chicken because that chicken was once alive at some point is wrong, then I mean, you could also argue that you shouldn't be eating chickens, and then the only people that could have that argument would be vegans. But if you're not a vegan, then how can you have that argument? Then comes another moral dilemma. So let's say a woman is cleaning out her closet. She finds an old flag of whatever nation you're part of, or whatever nation you have the utmost respect for.
Okay, let's roll back on that question, since we're just apparently just doing a moral dilemma video. We're saying, okay, it's not okay to desecrate the corpse, but then eating it. We're comparing eating something to desecrating, which is not. Don't a lot of people, cultures, see that as respecting the creature because you killed it and now are consuming it? It would be like doing anything other than eating it is disrespectful and a waste. Like, you've killed it and now you must consume it. So I feel like in some cultures that's just like respecting the creature, to not waste the life that it had by, desecrating it any other way other than consuming it. Question mark.
Also argue that you shouldn't be eating chickens, and then the only people that could have that argument would be vegans.
So yeah, desecration and eating are not equal.
But if you're not a vegan, then how can you have that argument? Then comes another moral dilemma.
Oh, before we get off the vegan thing, I'm gonna be the guy that says, hold on, let me just do this. As it's gonna be hard. Again, this is not the best place. I'm just gonna draw like a flower. Again, really bad position to be drawing. So, the whole thing, like vegetarian, vegan thing, and it's like, okay, I can see it on like, okay, animals, like they're being killed. Or sure, if you don't like that, that's fine. Or you just don't want to eat meat, yada yada yada. I don't know where I'm going with this, but last time I checked, this thing, I changed the size, my bad. Like, this thing is a living entity. This thing is alive. So if the whole argument against don't eat meat is because they're alive, it's a different form of life, but is that it because they were alive? I mean, you are eating potential things that are also alive. Plants are alive. I feel like we've all forgotten that plants are living things and also have a quote-unquote life that they are living, and then they still have to die for other things to live, herbivores. So no matter what you do, something potentially is dying, or you're eating, like, if you want to say seeds, if you want to say seeds or like nuts or anything like that aren't alive, they're still technically the offspring of said thing. So it's like the equivalent of eating an egg, right? Which I'm pretty sure you still see eggs as bad, obviously. So it's the same thing.
Argument would be vegans. But if you're not a vegan, then how can you have that argument?
I just haven't heard anyone like really say that before, but like, I'm kind of like, can we stop like pretending like plants aren't also alive? Because they are alive, just because it's a different form of life. They are a living entity that has to die for other things to live. And I'm pretty sure they did, I don't know, we can't like trust science too much, but plants allegedly can feel pain. So I think that's all you need to hear to know that, like, oh, like they are dying. And there's like the fish versus plants argument where, like, apparently fish don't feel pain, so if you kill them, they don't feel anything. But plants possibly do feel pain, like certain kinds of fish. But it's just getting muddy now. I'm just saying, like, plants might even also feel pain, so keep that in mind. Like, something, unfortunately, the world's made in a way that something has to die for you to live, even plants.
Then comes another moral dilemma. So let's say a woman is cleaning out her closet. She finds an old flag of whatever nation you're part of, or whatever nation you have the utmost respect for, whether that be the American flag, the South Korean flag, whatever. It's a national flag. Mm-hmm. She finds it. She has no use for it, doesn't want it anymore. So she cuts it up into pieces and then uses it as a rag to clean her toilet. Nobody looks through her bathroom window. Nobody finds out. She doesn't post it on social media as some sort of message to the youth. It's not a statement of any kind. It's just, well, I was either going to A, throw it away, and it's mine. I can do what I want with my possessions.
Bro, I didn't get this moral thought. Yeah, the insects eating the plants. I need to go back to SAR because I didn't really catch what was going on with this one.
Be eating chickens, and then the only people that could have that argument would be vegans. But if you're not a vegan, then how can you have that argument? Then comes another moral dilemma. So let's say a woman is cleaning out her closet. She finds an old flag of whatever
flag
nation you're part of, or whatever
Oh, okay, so it's not like an American flag.
You have the most utmost respect for, whether that be the American flag, the South Korean flag, whatever. It's a national flag.
Okay, it doesn't have to be American.
She finds it. She has no use for it. Doesn't want it anymore. So she cuts it up into pieces and then uses it as a rag to clean her toilet. No.
Okay, I was like, that's what we're doing. Hey, that's just like a nationalist thing, because isn't you're not allowed, or I don't know if you're not allowed. You're not supposed to do that, or you're not. You're just, I think in America you're not allowed, or you're not supposed to allow the American flag to touch the ground. And I feel like you can almost get in trouble for that. Well, I mean, you can get in trouble for burning the American flag. I think that is like illegal. You will get in trouble. I don't know if it's just because you're burning something, or if it's like specifically because you're burning the flag. Like I think that is like an illegal act. Destroying a flag, I don't know. Again, it just depends on the rules of where you're living, right? And if like that place is like how obsessed that place is with nationalism, is that the right word?
Nobody looks through her bathroom window. Nobody finds out. She doesn't post it on social media as some sort of message to the youth. It's not a statement of any kind. It's just, well, I was either going to A, throw it away, and it's mine. I can do what I want with my possessions. And I mean, isn't it better to reuse things than just throwing it away? Some will say the chicken is a no-go, but the flag is fine. But others argue that flags can hold very symbolic meanings for a large population of people, such as veterans, perhaps even more so than the symbolism of a grocery store chicken that people will be eating regardless. Then others argue, just because we independently have our own views about something, does that make others morally wrong when their views are not the same, even if they're technically not hurting someone? Where does the morality end? When they start hurting people, or just the idea, the concept? But who comes up with where that concept is? Side note, if you've ever had the desire to be the very annoying dinner party guest, this book is really good. It's called
The Righteous Mind? Why good people are divided by politics and religion?
Righteous Mind. It's
Is it filled with these questions?
yeah, and it's filled with how his students respond, and it's just, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, there's like a cockroach dilemma. There's incest dilemmas.
Whoa.
Yeah, it even goes into how a lot of people will first, this is what he says in the book of, it's interesting because when you ask people these questions about these moral dilemmas, first people will be disgusted by the moral dilemmas. And you'll see it. And one of the first things that they do to justify their disgust.
I mean, it depends on how desensitized a person is.
Because they can't, I mean, maybe someone on the street, but when you're talking to a lot of like philosophy majors, it's hard to debate that some of these are morally wrong. Because it's just difficult. They're not hurting anyone. Nobody's finding out. It's not a statement. So what they do is they feel the disgust first, the emotion. And he says one of the first things that happens is they will find victims to justify their emotions, stating the family who eats the pet will get sick, or they're teaching their children dangerous behaviors, or the children are exposed to diseases by eating the pet meat. He's like, who said they had children?
That is so interesting.
Others say a neighbor who is a veteran is going to see the woman cutting up the flag and cleaning her toilet. And if he doesn't see that, he's going to see it peeking out of a trash can filled with doo-doo. And he's going to be very sad because he fought for that flag. Jonathan is like, we never said anyone was going to see it. In fact, I told you, nobody knows that this is happening. This is happening privately. So people will create victims to justify how they feel upset about a moral dilemma, which I thought was very intriguing.
What did I say about any of these things? It was just whether or not the thing is illegal, right? Because with the chicken, it's like the guy is the one who, well, it's the chicken's corpse itself that's the issue. Like, it's being desecrated, but also, I said salmonella. Like, that's how you get some sort of weird disease, right? It's a new disease. So he's also endangering himself. Like, to a high? I don't know. Like, it depends on like how real that would be, but he's endangering himself, and if he does, generate some sort of new disease from doing that, then it could spread to others. So that would be worthy. Okay, it's going to go to others, but you could say, oh, well, how? It's like, I'm not saying that so and so is going to see him doing it or whatever. I'm saying that he is now infected and could spread to others now. So I don't think that's the same thing, but the flag thing is just, again, whether or not it's illegal where you're at, question mark. So I don't know, that wasn't my first thought, is to like find other victims. It was just like, is it illegal or not?
But that's not the point here. There are other interesting moral dilemmas, a bit lighter. So the cockroach one, because I see that you were interested, so I'm just going to tell you about it. Okay. Yeah. A professor has everyone drink a sip of apple juice. And
what, is there like a roach leg in it? Like, since there's supposed to be like, what, a percent of insect parts inside of, like, I don't know, candy and food and stuff, because they can't help but they can't help but keep them away. Is it? They can't help but keep them out. Am I not saying that right? It's hard to keep them out of manufacturing of food. So, like, there's, like, the thing about, like, there's a percentage of bug parts in, like, chocolate and candy and stuff.
All of them take a willing sip. They saw it come out of the juice can and they take a sip. Then he announces, I have here in this container a sterilized cockroach. We bought some cockroaches from the lab supply company. The roaches were raised in a clean environment and they have been sterilized once again in an autoclave, which heats everything so hot that no germs can survive. I'm going to dip this cockroach into the juice. Now will you take a sip?
Okay. Obviously gross is going to be the first thought on that, because it is a roach. But it's sterilized to high heaven. That's the dilemma, right? So does it matter? I don't know. Like, obviously it's just gross for the sake of being gross, but it's just aesthetics now. It's aesthetically gross, and thus you don't want to do anything with something that touched it. That will there be taste? I would assume, like, what he did in soda, right? The soda probably would mask it. It was just dipped, right? It would probably be fine if it was sterilized, right? How the taste. That depends on if the roach would still be generating goop despite being dead, right? Because it's been sterilized, and it's just powder. How are they even going to sterilize it? Because we're saying, like, it was basically sterilized until it was turned into powder. I feel like it would be better to be like, okay, here's roach powder that we sterilized beyond belief. Like, that's the only way that what he's saying makes sense in that scenario that's being made. So, like, here we're gonna dip some powder in and see what happens. I don't know. Like, just because the roaches are so gross that you already have the inclination is to be grossed by anything that comes in contact with it. Like, could I? Probably, but, like, do I want to? No. But, like, where's the dilemma other than, is it just, like, the fact that it's a sterilized roach, but, like, you still don't want to? But, okay, where's it going to come from? Like, so you would interact with a sterilized roach, but not X, Y, Z? Where's that? Where's the M. Night Shyamalan twist to this dilemma, other than just roach?
Why or why not? No. Well, one could argue that probably dirtier things have actually been in contact with most food products sold within our country. We just don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, that I think there's supposed to be a percentage of insects in your food and drink and candy specifically already. So you're already eating bugs. Allegedly.
Know about it. This actually happens to be completely sterile. But the problem with moral dilemmas, and it's so interesting because they also did one that was so fascinating. They got a group of students together. A ton of them were atheists, so they don't even believe in any sort of God or religion. And they asked, will you sign this piece of paper that I sign my soul over to this professor after my death? But if this contract is null and void, this is not a legal contract. And they presented in front of the students, including the atheist students who don't believe that there's an afterlife, who don't really believe that your soul exists in any sort of form or even conceptually after death, and they refused to sign it. They refused to sign it.
Because I was going to say, like, okay, just because they don't believe in God doesn't mean they don't believe in anything. I need to know if they're, like, pure atheists or if they're agnostic. Is that the word? Because they're agnostic, then that's not the same thing. And they, of course, they wouldn't sign it. Because just because they don't believe there's, like, a hardcore God, or, like, they can't, like, fully believe in something, that doesn't mean they don't believe in nothing. Like, they could still be spiritual, and they'll be like, okay, maybe I have a soul, and thus I'm not giving it to anybody. But yeah, I feel like nobody would sign that, just because it's not just the fact of, you know, being spiritual. They don't want to be owned. Like, just the inclination of the human beings to not want to be owned by another person. I think it's just always going to be there, even if it's, like, something silly or fake like this, if they want to see it as being fake because they don't believe in souls, right? Even if it's just a bunch of words on a piece of paper, nobody wants to be owned. Citation needed. on that, because obviously, I mean, some people might, but still.
Would you sign it?
Ooh, probably, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No. I don't know.
No, just be safe.
Yeah, I mean, just to be safe, I feel like, I mean, you
Yeah, you should always just like cover your bases, even if you don't think the stuff is real. You don't know if you're right. That's also the thing with that is like just because you believe in this scenario that there isn't anything, that doesn't mean you're like 100% correct. So they're being humble is the right, I guess, a decent word to be saying it. Like just because they believe a certain way doesn't mean they also believe that they're 100% correct, and thus they are like, okay, just in case, I'm not signing this, right? That's like multiple layers of just in case, because just because it's a piece of paper that says they have your soul doesn't mean it's legally or spiritually binding, right? But it's like just in case, don't do it. Like they're not so full of themselves as to believe that they know everything is what I'm saying. So it's actually just shows that they aren't complete full of themselves, even though atheists are supposed to be like that's the stereotype. Like atheists are so full of themselves and they are like so narcissistic, maybe egotistical. I don't know. I think that's a stereotype of them, but this just shows that they aren't that, at least by like 1%. And they're like, okay, just in case, I'm not signing this.
would want a lawyer to look over it. No, at least maybe. I would probably be peer pressured into signing it though. Yeah. Would you sign it?
No.
You wouldn't.
No.
That's so interesting because you're not particularly religious or superstitious or...
But I know it will bother you, so it'll just be whatever.
So the problem with some moral dilemmas is that once you find an answer to the first moral dilemma, it leads to another moral dilemma, and then another one, until you're basically in this black hole of moral dilemmas. And that is today's case of Uncle Red.
Okay, we're finally going to get to that. I was like, how long are we going to go on for moral dilemmas?
This case has led to at least 15 different conversations and debates about the morality of not just the case itself, but also the internet's reaction to the case. And it feels like a black hole that we're about to get stuck in. So at first glance, there is this list. The list looks like the top 10 list of men from the city of Nanjing. It's just a collage of 10 guys, a close-up of their faces, and it's ranked 1 through 10.
I just realized what was going on with the watermelon guy. He must have been on this list of victims, we'll call them, of Red Uncle / Sister Hong. I just call him Red Uncle Sister Hong. Just that's his entire name, Red Uncle Sister Hong. That, like, he must have been on his victim list, and thus they recognized him. I mean, for one, if you know what this random guy on the street looks like, that means you've been watching this stuff, which means you're also a bad guy. Because how could you know him by face? But that's what I'm saying. They recognized his face on that list, and that's why they were so disgusted with him. And when they asked him, is he going to go see so-and-so? They were probably like, oh, are you going to go see Red Uncle or something, right? That's probably what they meant by asking him that question.
If you see the collage, it's confusing because it has a little phrase accompanying each blurry photo of a man. Number 1 says, might as well guy. 2, Four Seasons guy. 3, Uncle Red Note Dreamboat. 4, half bottle of oil guy. 5, TikTok.
Baby oil? Diddy stuff? That's like the only thing about the Diddy stuff. Like there's something that has to do with baby oil, right? He's obsessed with that. I'm not watching any of the Diddy stuff, but I think that's a meme from the Diddy stuff is baby oil, ?
TikTok influencer sleep early guy. 6, muscle man. 7, watermelon guy. Number 8, the milk guy. Number 9, black leather jacket guy. Number 10, sister-in-law guy. Michelle's fiance, and Michelle is a pseudonym, is black leather jacket guy. Number 9 on the top 10 list, which is kind of hard to forget for Michelle. Is black leather jacket guy. Number 9 on the top 10 list, which is kind of hard to forget for Michelle because every single day, every second of every moment, everyone in her orbit, in her social sphere, just keeps sending her links to the collage of photos. Everyone calls your fiance the leather jacket guy. Well, I mean, her former fiance. It gets to be...
Yeah, because this is cheating, technically, right? So even if the way the cheating was found out was dubious, he still cheated, right?
so much that she actually posts online. I took the video and I questioned my fiance, and he went silent. I showed him the collage, and currently we have notified both sides of our family. I went to the hospital to get checked for anything today, and I'm still waiting for the results. We were together for almost 3 years. I really believed we'd make it all the way to the altar. Both families had met, they'd gotten along, and then the Uncle Red story broke, and I couldn't even trust my own eyes. All the lies he told me suddenly felt hollow. I confronted him, and you just shrugged and said, let's part on good terms. I'm sorry. As if those words could erase everything. At that moment, every bit of light I had carried for 3 years in my life shattered. Uncle Red, I was left wondering, what exactly was I to my fiance? Really, Uncle Red? She posted a screenshot of a video of her fiance, well now, ex-fiance, sitting in a black leather jacket, sitting on the edge of someone else's bed. And that's where the top 9, like the number 9 photo was pulled from. And same with the other 9 guys. They're all sitting on the same bed, or they're all standing in the same room.
That's like some sort of like small apartment, right?
Michelle apparently went through leather jacket guy's phone, and he even had the chance to come clean. One of his friends messaged him, do you want me to tell your fiance, or are you going to? He responded, huh? I don't think that's necessary. What do you mean? You're engaged and still doing this? You don't have shame? Netizens are commenting under Michelle's post, I'm so sorry, but your fiance was pretty good looking too, and I could tell. This happened twice, didn't it? Another one reads, all I can say is he was pretty handsome, so this makes it even more confusing. Others say, it's actually more confusing that he's only ranked number 9 on the top 10 list. I'm so lost.
I'm confused on like what they're saying. He's so handsome, thus what? Question mark? Is it just like he cheated because he's so hot? Question mark?
Another one in the top 10 list is a popular influencer on Douyin, which is China's TikTok. His videos have gone viral in Asia at least a few times solely for the reason that he's attractive. One of his videos, there's just comments that now read, you deserve better than Uncle Red. Why didn't you meet me before you met Uncle Red?
That's crazy.
So who the hell is Uncle Red? A middle-aged man allegedly catfishing straight men into coming to his house to have intimate relations. Uncle Red poses as a woman online, and he will invite these straight men over, and all of their intimate reactions are secretly recorded. It has been reported by many Chinese mainstream media news outlets, and then later debunked by police, but nobody believes it, that about 1,691 men fell victim to this illegal recording scam. Uncle Red appears to have a very strict routine prior to live streaming. It's a ritual, if you will. The first is finding the palest color of foundation readily available for human use, slathering it all over his face, and pairing that uniquely with the reddest of red lipsticks, always remembering to overline his lips. It's a rather low-effort, minimal routine that does create kind of a striking appearance. Now, side note, the filters on Douyin are good enough that not much more is that necessary. The next step of his process includes putting on a dress shirt, a silky blouse usually, and then a long, flowy maxi skirt. He puts on a short bob, a wig, it's a wig. It goes down a little past his shoulders, he's got bangs covering his eyebrows, and it's a unique combination of design choices that are confusing, mainly because Uncle Red decides the day that he joins Douyin, he's actually going to go into making thirst traps.
Really?
Okay. So we actually just have his apartment or whatever just on Douyin.
Really?
Yeah, that's...
As like evidence to be like, yep, this is your place.
I mean, the attire is interesting. He never wears anything provocative, ever, and it doesn't work, at least not in the traditional sense. Uncle Red is, for 3 years, on Douyin. The mass audience has no clue who this person is. Nobody knows Uncle Red until he gets arrested. But that's not the end game. It appears that Uncle Red joins Douyin for the purpose of getting DMs from men, which I say with respect for half the world's population, lots of respect, lots of love. It's typically something that you can achieve even if you're aggressively doing nothing. Naturally, Uncle Red starts getting lots of DMs from men.
But like, what kind of thirst trap is he posting at that point? You're gonna get into that?
Yeah, so the thirst traps are not thirst traps in the way that you would typically imagine. So when you think thirst traps, you're thinking about costumes and dancing. Yeah, and like lots of skin. A lot of guys are attracted to Uncle Red's softness. It's alleged that he uses a voice change filter and he knows how to talk to guys. Sometimes he would take calls from his viewers, and one male viewer, seemingly familiar with Uncle Red already, is asking, you still haven't slept yet? Uncle Red responds, I just ate lunch. How can I fall asleep? Oh, why aren't you sleeping yet? I don't know, I just haven't slept yet. Then can I ask you a question? Go ahead, what kind of question is it? It's about a man. Sure, go ahead. My husband's private part is a little longer than my middle finger. Is that normal? That's the extent of his thirst traps.
Is he using a voice changer there? It didn't really seem like it.
Got it.
That's the conversation that wins a lot of guys over for Uncle Red. Side note, Uncle Red does not appear to be married, at least not anymore. He was once married
I was like, what? I feel like that was just a lie.
to a woman, but they divorced. He has not since remarried, nor does he have a husband. But a lot of people
I mean, the entire thing is a lie, but
to a woman, but they divorced. He has not since remarried, nor does he have a husband. But a lot of people like the idea that this is a woman who is not intimately fulfilled by her husband. And a lot of men want to say, let me show you what men do. That's
Got
the
it.
thirst trap.
I see.
Yes. Now, Uncle Red also does not have a good wig, because at one point during a live stream, it does slip off his head, revealing that not only does his foundation only
it doesn't even cover his entire face.
go up to where the bangs cut off.
Wait, I've seen that photo. It's only the face. That's why, right?
I mean, but it's like half the forehead.
Yeah.
And he just has like a very short buzz cut hairstyle, which looks perfectly fine. But even so, Uncle Red's DMs start filling up, and it's rumored that Uncle Red, at least 1,691 men came to visit Uncle Red at his personal residence for intimate relations. So why is this a Rotten Mango episode? One of the
I mean, other than the fact that he was recording it all, right? This is China. So what is... I'm assuming the outlook on... it has a dance around this, right? The outlook on... being gay... I don't know if that is negative or not. I would assume it is in China. I'd have to assume so, but maybe it's not. But I assume for this case, I'm assuming it is, which is why they're going like behind their wives and whatnot's backs, or not wives, girlfriends, whatever, backs to go meet with this person. Like they know this is a guy, especially once they actually start having relations, right? So, but they still go over there. I'm guessing he's not charging them either, right? They're just doing it. So I would assume like some of these guys are just gay, but they just don't want anybody to know, question mark. Maybe because there's a stigma in China over it. I would assume there's a stigma. Maybe there's not. Again, this is all just assumptions, but
first titles to come out of this incident. Well, first of all, let me tell you why it is a Rotten Mango episode, because I've gotten hundreds of separate emails, while I was so deep in the Karen Reed case, and everyone is telling me about Uncle Red. Yeah. And so I looked into it and I thought, okay, maybe it's not going to be the most complicated mind case, because my mind was wiped. And then the minute that I got into it, it's just the moral dilemma conundrum. It made my brain spin because of how many different debates were taking place online.
Also, just like how viral this is on TikTok, and then in all of Asia, like every single country in Asia was.
Yes.
It's crazy. Like everyone's talking about this.
It's suspected that Uncle Red's...
Oh, I'm like, what is going on the left side? These are like people memeing. This is where the memes come from. They're memeing as this person.
Bang, wig, pale skin, red lipstick, maxi skirt is going to be the #1 Halloween look in most Asian countries this year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So one of the first titles to come out of this incident, and again, this is not me agreeing with the wording of this title, but like I said, it's important how the news is presented in
Yeah, I did see the dog with the mask on and the clothes. That was silly. The Uncle Red dog.
This case, it translated reads, Nanjing 60-year-old man with a wig and a long skirt successfully attracts over 1,600 straight men. So it's a very strange...
Well, straight in quotations.
Title, and accompanying it is a collage of a bunch of guys' faces, and they don't look like mugshots, considering half of them are looking down to the side, all different directions. Some of them are shirtless, others look like they're in brief flashes of pain, others look like they're in brief flashes of pleasure, but you can't really tell the difference. And it's a very weird visual to see so many random guys' faces in a collage. I mean, the background is so consistent that you have to consider that the idea that the pictures were all taken in the same place is a valid theory. And
maybe they weren't doing anything, because we don't have like a actually clear picture of what's going on in this room. Maybe they're just hanging out, right? Maybe they're just hanging out talking about life. Who knows?
They are. All of these pictures were taken at Uncle Red's personal residence, where, like I said, almost 2,000 men have reportedly come to visit Uncle Red. That number will later be debated, but we will get to that. For 3 years, nearly every single day, Uncle Red has had visitors. Livestream fan after livestream fan knocking on his door, and it's kind of difficult to pinpoint who watches Uncle Red's live streams. I feel like if you sat at the corner of his apartment building and made bets with the elderly neighbor who sits outside on the plastic chair every day, you would lose money, because sometimes it's a younger college kid that shows up hoodie and a backpack. Other days it's a slightly older, fitness obsessed looking muscle dude in a muscle shirt. Other days it looks kind of like a nerdy English tutor. Other days it looks like a middle-aged balding man. The only reason that you would really know that they're here to see Uncle Red is that they do not come empty-handed. The speculation
Okay, so what does Uncle Red want then?
online is that Uncle Red's house becomes a local legend through word of mouth. Uncle Red does social media, gets a few guys in the messages, but these guys then turn and tell all their friends, you need to visit Uncle Red's house. It's basically a steal, you know, what you get and what you give. It's not even comparable. It's basically free. All you have to do is bring a small gift, a household necessity, a bottle of peanut oil from the grocery store that's $3.
What is that over here? Is that alcohol? Is the guy carrying a case there? I'm assuming it's like alcohol or something.
A single watermelon, which depending on the season in Nanjing is $2 to $5. Or
Okay, so now we've like gone full circle to that person in the beginning talking to Watermelon Man, and it's not even just he saw his face. He's just some random guy. He's just some random guy getting a watermelon for his family. But because a watermelon has been seen in these pictures, like, oh, you're disgusting. Because they assume he's going to Uncle Red Uncle. But yeah, I'm assuming this is a peanut oil there. But yeah, I was saying, like, what is that? Is that alcohol? But yeah, now we understand the watermelon stuff at the beginning. Now watermelon has like a stigma on it now because it's like one object that's been found here. I wonder if a lot of these places got not boycotted, but lost business a bit. Like, oh, we saw your peanut oil in these pictures. We're not going to support you, question mark, anymore, even though they have nothing to do with this. Whatever the heck that is, like a juice box, alcohol.
a packet of milk that you can get on sale, whatever. Just bring a bag of spinach if you must, which someone does. Just bring something to show gratitude for the host. And
yeah, like, is it, where is that bag of even? Where was this even in? Like, is this a trash bag? You just brought a bunch of spinach in a trash bag?
And most likely what you get in return is what netizens refer to as, quote, full service. Undoubtedly, a lot of these guys find this to be a practically free exchange. I mean, a lot of the stuff you can find in your own freezer. They put in zero emotional effort, no dates, no paying for dinners, no relationships, no strings attached, and they don't have to pay for the services because Uncle Red is willing to do it in exchange for a half-filled Dasani water bottle of peanut oil. In fact, a lot of streamers will barely give their top donors the time of day unless they're dropping thousands of dollars on them, let alone meet up with them in person. But Uncle Red's fan service, if you will, is so good that Uncle Red will take anyone in. These are how netizens are saying they think that this whole scam started, this whole crime started. Uncle Red won't even make fun of you for buying a $3 bottle of oil and taking half of it and giving Uncle Red only half the bottle of oil.
Well, I mean, because it's like a double whammy, we know that he is selling the stuff, right? Selling the videos. If he's recording the entire thing and selling it, like on, if we're going to say a dark web or something, right? It doesn't really matter what they bring. So he's just, anything they bring is just a bonus to the X amount of money that he's making selling these voyeur videos.
Instead, Uncle Red will guide the men to the tiny thin mattress in the corner and spend about 30 minutes with them. Now, up until this point, all of this is consensual. Like, these men are coming to Uncle Red's house. They're not being forced to stay there. They're not being forced to partake in any intimate relations or activities. So all of this, like, no part of this so far is a crime.
Yeah, up to that point, like, they just want to have relations with Uncle, which is fine. They can do that. It's just the voyeurism. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these men may have realized that the market price and what Uncle Red are offering is kind of a steal. It's a good bargain. Uncle Red's apartment is difficult to find, but even then, still a bargain. It's a basement unit, and it's dimly lit. It kind of has a bunkerish feel to it, which is what netizens say.
Yeah, it just looks kind of like a... Is it low security prison cell? Is this kind of like what a low security prison cell would look like? Just a little tiny bed. How big is that? We can't see the wall on the left side over there. Oh. Get a ad. Like, I don't know if like the ads are like for everybody at the same time. I don't know. Okay, we can't see the wall over here on the side, so we can't really assume how big it is, but assuming they're using perfect symmetry with their pillow here in the middle, we have like, what, this much of edge, and it's not even like that much, because I think this is curving down, so you can't really see how far this is going, but you have just a bit of there, bit there. So this could just be a single, maybe a twin. I feel like you're pushing this to be like a twin size, but maybe this is a single or twin size bed, so it's pretty small. So it means that if this is touching the wall over there, there's not much. Oh, you can't even see my bed. There's not much space over there, so it is pretty small. And just like nothing table over here. Like, where's all the stuff he keeps? Like, he's gotten at least 1,600 gifts over 3 years. And where's that stuff going? I guess sure a bunch of it is like consumable stuff, but I feel like he's getting so much stuff that where's it going? I know we can't see behind us, but like this room is so clean and sterile, I think is a good word to use. It's so sterile. Like, where's this stuff going?
I will say it's very sparsely furnished, just a collapsible table, mini fridge, a bed, and a built-in closet with a sink next to it and a bathroom off to the side. It's not exactly homey, but some of the guys have to turn on their phone flashlights to even find.
I kind of see in this scenario, maybe like there's more stuff because there's a lot of stuff here, but I need a better picture. I need a picture with stuff in it. Because now we have like, okay, we have stuff under the table, we have stuff on the table, possibly we can see that there's under the bed. So that's also a thing. Also, this is going so high. Is this just like a thin futon and not like an actual mattress? And we're just like, you know, committing extracurricular activities on like a thin piece of cushion, question mark. Anyways, though, my main thing was this, which this picture's so small, can't really see. Like, what is this right here? Because it looks like a microphone, which if that is what that is, like I only assume that because it's so small, like a condenser mic or something, or shotgun mic, a thin shotgun mic, something like that. Yeah, it could be a sink. Because if it's not, then it's like, guys, you don't see this like shotgun microphone just sitting there. Yeah, it might be the sink because like obviously where is the sink in this building if not back here out of view.
Find the door to Uncle Red's unit, and we know this because a lot of them are captured on the video walking in with their phone flashlight on. But it's seemingly worth it because right when they walk in, Uncle Red will place pink slippers in front of them.
Yeah, just look at the sink now. Now that we have a closer look because of the little nudge here.
Sometimes Uncle Red will even wash fruit, cut the fruit, make small talk, make the guys feel comfortable, and then they're
already taking shirt off. Shoes and socks are off. Shirts off. He's going for the lights.
Into the festivities for free. Well, for the price of a watermelon. But there is a saying that a lot of people use in marketing, which is, if it's free, that means you are likely the product. Because in the middle of Uncle Red's apartment is a tiny little hole. And hiding inside that tiny little hole is a hidden camera. And when these men leave, Uncle Red pulls out the SD card, starts importing the footage to go through. Even in illegal businesses, there seems to be some sort of quality control because Uncle Red will sort through the footage, cutting out the quote boring parts and the not exciting parts, trim down the hidden camera footage to just the highlights, which includes the men walking in with a grocery store gift in their hand, awkwardly saying hello.
What is that? That's a lot of stuff.
Uncle Red saying hello, hugging them, and then the opening line for almost every single 1,000+ guest is along the lines of, did you wash yourself first? Go clean yourself. They will then be escorted to the bathroom like a stray.
Okay, so that's where that one guy was going, because he was walking towards where the lights were, but that's probably also where the bathroom is, since the wall is pushed in there next to the door. So yeah, the bathroom is over by the door.
Dog, where you hear the water turn on, they rinse themselves, walk out, and there are pink slippers awaiting them. From there, the camera captures them unzipping, receiving, and then none of their faces are blurred. None of their identities are hidden, and Uncle Red is selling these videos, this massive collection of videos in Telegram group chats.
Okay, using Telegram. Why is Telegram used for so much stuff? Just because it's like the anonymity of it? Question mark. I used to have a Telegram. Just like a message when I didn't have like a service, I guess. I don't remember why I had it. Just like people I knew used it, so I used it because they used it. And I think with Telegram, if you don't use it long enough, your account gets deleted. So I don't know how long ago that was, but that was like years ago. uh, where I had it deleted just because I hadn't used it in for so long. Like my friend actually told me because he uses it that like, hey, your Telegram account is no longer around because like they can't see me anymore. Like it got deleted. So yeah, I have not used Telegram in a century. Yeah, I don't know what the nth room is. I've seen the thumbnail for the video. I don't even know how to say it. Like the nth room or the ninth room, nth room.
breaks.
Obviously, something that have to eventually get around to and watching.
Selling these videos, this massive collection of videos in Telegram group chats. News breaks of Uncle Red's arrest, and suddenly all of Nanjing and China are kind of going into a meltdown. The only reason I even first heard about this case, I mean, I did start getting hundreds of emails, but the very first time I heard about this case, my husband's sister came over and she was trying to explain the story, and it looked like it was fundamentally changing the wiring of her brain. Like she was losing her mind at not only the case itself, but
Did you talk about Tiffany? Like, so I know we know of Tiffany, or is this someone else that she's talking about? Just like some random family member from the husband that we don't know. And it's not Tiffany. Even though we only really heard about Tiffany like once, right? Though, something I wanted to say about like the camera angle that camera's in. Yeah, sure, it's like voyeurism, so maybe that's why they would want to see it. But like, if we're going to be like, or if we're going to be weird for a second and like see this as like a proper business, the camera angle that is being used for this is pretty bad. Okay, so that is Tiffany. Yeah, like I feel like what are you even going to see from that angle? Make sure you can see like a lot, but it's such a horrible angle to record at. I mean, I probably have no choice, right, because of the set of the room, but still, like a lot of the bed is cut off. I mean, I guess unless we're not seeing the entire wide angle, but yeah, it's like such a bad angle to record at.
fundamentally changing the wiring of her brain. Like she was losing her mind at not only the case itself, but also the internet's reaction to the case. Like it was just everywhere. She said, you can't even go onto any Chinese social media platform without this being the main conversation. Like if you don't know Uncle Red, you don't know half the jokes people are making. You don't know what half the people are talking about. It's just, you could post a video of your dog and in the comments, there will be references to Uncle Red or jokes about Uncle Red somehow fitted in there. It's like a cultural phenomenon. The more she knows about this case, the more questions. Like for one, how did Uncle Red even get arrested? July of 2025, a man walks into the police station in Nanjing, China to report very simply that his private moments were secretly recorded and they're circulating online. He
How did he figure that out though?
knows where the videos were taken. He knows who took the video and he's going to lead the police straight to her. That's
I was wondering like if like how would they or how would like one of these guys tell other than just wanting to tell? I don't know.
about all he says to the police. Police head to the basement unit of Uncle Red. They knock on the door, and since Uncle Red was not expecting any company, Uncle Red does not have his live stream fit on, and they realize, okay, this is a little confusing because the man who reported it to me said that this was a woman in a bunker type style basement unit who took these videos, but now I'm looking at a middle-aged man. Maybe it's his wife, but it's not, it's him. They promptly arrest him. And they realize that Uncle Red has likely made over $35,000 selling these videos in these group chats.
$35,000? I mean, it is a lot of money, but over 3 years? I was expecting more, but I guess maybe, I don't know. Still, like $35,000.
Which could explain why Uncle Red perhaps did not have a deep yearning to receive expensive gifts from the men that came over. The whole
Yeah, I mean, like, the gifts are just a bonus on what he's going to make from selling these voyeur videos.
Well, okay, this is where I, again, get a little bit confused by the
Also, where...
from the men that came over. The whole...
Further.
Uncle Red perhaps did not have a deep yearning video.
Okay, I want to see this.
Arrest him.
Is this like from the police? Because how do we have just a collage of videos with actual timestamps of how long? Like, these are just the videos. How do we have this image? Unless the police gave it, I guess, to the public. Like, here is a collage of all the videos that we have. Do you have like an average time? Like, it seems to be between 7 and like 15, maybe even less than that. 7 to 13, but there's like a 20 I saw. Like there's 20 up, like the third video is like 20 minutes. Did say they cut out like all the fluff though, so a lot of that's being taken out to make them this short.
Group chats, which could explain why Uncle Red perhaps did not have a deep yearning to receive expensive gifts from the men that came over. The whole, okay, this is where I, again, get a little bit confused by the internet reaction, because I will say the selling of the videos online is reminiscent to other cases that we've covered, such as Nth Room. I don't know if it compares.
Okay, well, there's the Nth Room. When hearing the Nth Room, I didn't know like what to expect it was, other than like, are we talking about like a red room? Just when I hear like something room, I assume red room, but I guess it's just something else. It's like this.
Severity, and I don't think it would be appropriate to compare the severity of certain cases. However, the business idea is similar in the sense Uncle Red will join a Telegram group chat or start one. He will charge $20 for a video in the group chat. After spending $20, if you want to see other videos or more videos, instead of receiving further payment, Uncle Red will ask that you invite 3 people into the group chat that will be willing to spend $20. So it seems like a very well thought out business plan. It's a referral program for new customer acquisition, which what can only be described as Uncle Red's blooming illegal video criminal enterprise. July 5th, 2025, authorities in Nanjing release a brief statement that they have put an end to said illegal video sharing by Uncle Red. Within hours, news of this arrest starts trending, which would make sense if Uncle Red was a famous live streamer that had just gotten arrested, but that's not the case. Because within hours, Uncle Red's arrest is at the top of the trending list. 89 separate media outlets have started reporting on the case, and in just 3 hours, 350 million people have clicked on any article regarding Uncle Red, someone that the entire country had no clue even existed 2 seconds ago.
300 million clicks?
350 million clicks in 3 hours.
Whoa.
Interestingly enough, this is where things get weird and controversial because people
I mean, weird. It wasn't weird already. Now it's going to get weird.
have very wild reactions to the whole case. First, people are doing the math. 1691, that's about 2,000 men, gone to Uncle Red's house in 3 years. That's about 1.5 men per day, with speculative reports estimating that there's about 5 terabytes of footage out there, which equates to about 3,000 hours of footage. That's a lot of activity. And that's not him even, I mean, he's got to lure these men somehow, so he's talking to people online. Let's say it takes about an hour to at least talk to someone to the point where they can come over to your house and do those intimate relations. I mean, this is like a full-time job. Most of the videos are also the same, which depicts Uncle Red performing oral activities on the guest, and then usually unceremoniously Uncle Red will turn around without taking off any clothing, just lifting up the back of his maxi skirt and then just like backing up into the man in question. Now, this is the part where I report to you all of the internet reactions regarding Uncle Red. And again, am I saying that these are appropriate reactions to a situation like this? No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I am just here to tell you what people have been saying online, what the general consensus has been, the types of memes that have come out of this, just so you understand the full totality of this case. The initial reaction across China seemed to be a mixture of shock, rage, and confusion. But with a lot of women, particularly on Douyin, on TikTok.
Okay, what is she going to say about them?
That are just squinting at the collage of men's faces, praying that they don't see.
Oh, yeah, they don't want to see their significant other on the list.
Boyfriend, fiance, husband, dad, whoever. Some even go online to report, hey, so I did find my dad in one of the thumbnails, and I don't know if I'm supposed to tell my mom.
Correction, looks like my dad.
I need advice. Others say, okay, well, at least yours is kind of a more simple situation where you should probably tell your mom. For me, it's different because I found my colleague. A lot of people report finding their colleague or brother or someone that's like distant enough that you definitely don't want to confront them with it. You have nobody else to talk to about it. And now you're just stuck with this information. One comment reads,
wait, if it's just your colleague, you should tell them just so they know, hey, this person sold your intimate moment. Oh. The memes are not appropriate. Well, like the dog dressed up. Oh, well, apparently, I mean, everyone's just going to be doing it on Halloween, allegedly, so I guess it can't be helped at this point. But yeah, the colleague, it's like you should let the colleague know that if they don't know, you should let them know that, hey, there's like videos of you online that you need to know about. Because it's not like they're in relations with each other. Like, so this is someone you know, and you should help them. Like, they're a victim there. It's not like you should be mad at them that they wanted to have relations. Like, they're allowed to do what they want behind private doors. It's just the fact that this wasn't a private moment, so you should help them. Be like, hey, you were victimized, question mark. Because there's videos of you online. If it's your boyfriend, though, that's a different story. They're like, hey, you cheated on me. or the husband, same thing, right? But if you're just someone you know, like your friends, or like they were saying colleague, like they didn't do anything wrong. They just wanted to have relations with someone, right? So you need to let them know that something bad happened to them. Like they were actually part of something that was not okay.
I was here for the drama, but then I found my brother-in-law in one of those pictures.
Oof.
And we thought he was working, but turns out he was at Uncle Red's house, and he showed up with a carton of milk, so that's very awkward. On Chinese
That looks like that box I was making comments on, so maybe that was the box of milk, not alcohol.
dating apps right now, and again, is this appropriate? That's not up for me to decide. I'm just letting you know. The biggest red flag that a lot of Chinese women state is that if a man writes that they are from Nanjing, even though it's a massive city with 9 million people, they think it's inappropriate. One netizen shared her dating profile, which reads, requirements for boyfriend. 1, not from Nanjing. 2.
How big is Nanjing, though? Because if it's only 1,600 men, like, I feel like that's a fraction of the people who live in there, right? Let's assume that there's like 1 million people there. Like 1,600 people is not that many people.
Must not have been to, stopped by, or traveled through Nanjing in the recent years. They comment under her post, are agreeing with her, writing, yeah, I'm not going to date Nanjing men in the foreseeable future. I'm also going to abstain from those who have even stopped by Nanjing for work.
So with like that, it's like, you could argue, like, why do you not want to? Right? Is it because they've had relations with Uncle without knowing? I don't know. I guess it's like maybe it's being seen as, let's say escort. Like it's I'm using escort as a YouTube friendly term, but you know what I'm talking about. They're seeing Uncle Red as an escort because it technically is a transaction, right? It's a small object for relations, extracurricular activities. And so they say, oh, this is a guy who paid for an escort, thus he is trash, thus I want nothing to do with him. So I feel like that's what's being said there, is that they don't want to be with someone who's, you know, paid for relations, even if like paying isn't like with like, money straight up. Which that's like we're moral dilemmas is like, do you want to be with someone who has paid for relations, right? I feel like most people might say no, they don't want to be. So that might be where that's coming from. There's also, which I don't know if that's what they're going with, like, oh, I don't want to be with someone who has done something with like a guy. I don't know, or at least specifically Uncle Red. I don't know if they're trying to get at that too, but I think it's just the thing of not wanting to be with someone who paid for stuff, paid for relations.
Netizens express just sudden disinterest in men completely, writing, I've just been uninterested in men these days. When I look at them, I just feel like all of them have slept with Uncle Red. I don't know what exactly that means. I don't know if it's the fact that 1,691, you get it. But another one writes, does anyone understand my pain? When I walk around Nanjing, because I'm from Nanjing, I just feel like every guy I see, I just picture them with Uncle Red instantly. I just look at them. With the consensus being on many Chinese platforms that the biggest diss that you can throw at someone is telling them that their husband or father is from Nanjing.
Well, I mean now, because this is a brand new event, so now that's the hottest insult, I guess, is to say that you, or like a man in your life, slept with Uncle Red. Again, like, why is that like such an insult? Because you're saying, oh, your husband partakes in escorts behavior, or is it because your husband had relations with a man? Like, what's the burn, right? Like, what are you trying to say?
Have been lots of memes that have occurred from this case in this situation. I mean, you know, when you travel to a new city, there is a TripAdvisor must-eat list on there. Well, on there, the #1 must-eat list is a 38-year-old man, which, side note, a lot of initial reports stated that Uncle Red was 60 years old. He's not 60, he's 38 years old. But it is must-eat 38-year-old man named Uncle Red. And then the Redgate banquet list goes viral. People
Redgate
have given nicknames and created these AI videos. A lot of people have dubbed Uncle Red. And again, this is for, if you look up this case, you're going to see a lot of these references online. And I'm not saying that these are appropriate, but a lot of people have dubbed Uncle Red Nanjing Zero online, which I was thinking, okay, there has been discourse that we're going to cover in a second about perhaps there being not enough usage of protection and things that can deter you from getting an STD.
Okay, sure.
So maybe they're calling him Nanjing Zero because they're trying to make some sort of joke or some sort of meme about him being patient zero, and he's like passing on things to other people because they're just all doing it willy-nilly, like all 2,000 of them. But I came to the very interesting conclusion that zero in China refers to bottoms.
Yes.
And one refers to...
He knew that immediately. Why do you know that, husband? Why do you know that zero means bottom? What are you partaking in? What literature, potential literature, are you partaking in that you know what zero means?
tops, and Tiffany and I, my sister in
Say that
China,
again?
refer...
Zeros for bottoms. And
I came to
what?
the very interesting conclusion that zero in China refers to bottoms.
Yes.
Like immediately guess with a smile on his face and laughter.
And one refers to tops, and Tiffany
Okay. Interesting.
and I, my sister-in-law and I had a very uncomfortable conversation where she was like, okay, so let me explain.
What's
and it
funny
was just...
is Tiffany didn't know what top and bottom means. She actually only knew what 1 and 0 means.
Yeah,
so it's like you have to double translate what top and bottom means to her, and then she said, "Oh yeah, that's 1 and that's 0."
And then I had to double check that this was not like an offensive term in China. And then she was like, no, she was showing me these Douyin videos of guys who are like, oh, I'm a 1, and it's like thirst traps. So I was like, okay, it seems like a normal thing that they talk about. But that has become another meme. And there has been, aside from the chaos and discrimination, it's not even just stopping at men from Nanjing, but also fitness men. So remember the 1 through 10 ranking that there was? Those are the top 10 men that netizens find the most interesting and or appealing from Uncle Red's guest list, if
Look at this wall of people.
you will. And they have been ranked. I'm not even going to go on to what it's like to rank victims of these intimate videos being leaked, but it's been done. And these have been circulating and everybody has been referencing them. Number 3 on the top 10 list for Uncle Red is actually a pretty famous fitness influencer on the app, Red Note, Xiaohongshu. And it's relatively easy for netizens to connect the dots because even when he went to go see Uncle Red, he's wearing this black Under Armour shirt with a big white bull on the front and a pair of Adidas Ultra Boosts that he always wears in his fitness videos, and he has a very distinctive look. And after these videos leaked online, he changed one of his social media bios to just read, I've already filed a police report, my life is a mess, and I'm planning to leave Nanjing for another city. Stop sharing the leaked footage. Then
Okay. The whole concert amounts of people. It's just so many people. It's not even like 1,600 too. I'm pretty sure it's just like such a huge list. Like 1,600 would be like, we had like all 1,600 pictures. It would be a massive wall. You could probably draw a picture with it. That's how big it is. So this guy, his life was ruined because he was already like such a big influencer that this just like ruined everything. I wonder if he's going to come back, but I feel like he would have to like hide his face, right? Because like nobody is going to stop sharing it, right? Nobody cares. That's just how people are, right? They don't really care if they ruin your life. So now he's probably just stuck as being one of the people who messed around with Uncle Red. Though you'd assume maybe over time would be something that's just fizzles out. Nobody remembers or cares about it anymore. But who knows how long this stigma will last.
Look, and after these videos leaked online, he changed one of his social media bios to just read, I've already filed a police report, my life is a mess, and I'm planning to leave Nanjing for another city. Stop sharing the leaked footage. Then, ranked number 2 out of the 10 is someone netizens have dubbed the 4 Seasons Man. Because a lot of netizens after this news broke out, they actually, it's like the Barbara Streisand effect. It's what happens in a lot of crimes like this is people will go,
I forget like exactly what the Barbara Streisand effect is, but it's when you tell people not to do something and that just makes them do it even harder, right? Or you, like, it's similar to that. Tell someone to shut up about something and they don't. It just makes them be even louder. And I'm guessing because I don't know like the origin other than that like maybe Barbara Streisand did something and she was telling people to shut up or stop talking about it, which just made people talk about it even louder. I don't know what that original story is about, but I'm pretty sure that's the definition of that.
go out and seek the footage afterwards. It draws more attention to said footage.
Yeah, like stop talking about it. Like you're talking about people talking about it and wanting them to stop talking about it, but that just makes them curious and then to go find that stuff and keep talking about it.
And people have been piecing together who is who and what is what. And I will say some netizens do say we have to do this because a lot of these people are not going to come forward. A lot of them are married. A lot of them have children. A lot of them have other partners that may not know that they're visiting Uncle Red and may want to get tested or may not know that they're having other intimate relations. So that's kind of been one conversation of why they're scouring through the videos. Others say it's just for fun, which is a very morally debatable dilemma that we can go down. But there is one guy called the 4 Seasons Man, and it is because he has been seen in 4 different videos and it's in each of the seasons.
That's like he just came over during every season to see Uncle Red.
Spring, summer, fall, and winter. And you can see in his attire, in one, he is wearing full-on winter gear, thermal puffer jacket. Summer, he's wearing lighter clothes. And that man is visiting Uncle Red all 4 seasons. Then in first place, so a lot of the 1 through 10, they made the top 10 either because they're attractive, like the leather jacket guy that cheated on his fiance, or because of the unique gifts that they brought, i.e. Watermelon Man. But the number 1 place is I'm already here, might as well. And this has actually turned into a very famous phrase in lots of countries in Asia. That is what this man has been dubbed online. Netizens came up with this name because reportedly in the leaked video, it appears that when he gets to Uncle Red's house, he realizes that Uncle Red is probably an uncle.
Sure, I would assume it's not fooling anybody, but it seems like he might, even after doing, like, showing up there and doing the stuff, they still don't know that he is uncle, right? Because not to get too detailed, she said that after a certain point, he would just back up into them, which means there's not much investigative, like, parts on the, let's just refer to them as the victims. Like, so they're just being backed up into, so it might be harder for them to know what's happening in that kind of scenario. Like, they're not paying too close of attention, but still, I feel like most of them know what they're doing. Like, they're here for him, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, like, the problem is that Uncle was recording it, right? That's the problem.
So Uncle Red goes by Sister Red online, and so he gets there and he's like, okay, I don't think this is Sister Red.
Oh, Sister Red? Or is it Sister Hong then? I would like to say that instead, so I'm going to say Sister Red if we say that. Uncle Red, Sister Red.
So he starts confronting Uncle Red, asking, are you a man or a woman? Are you a man or a woman? And this is going to be another moral dilemma that we're going to go down, and lots of people have been having debates about it, but right now, pause on that. He's asking, are you a man or a woman? Uncle Red lies and says, I'm a woman.
Like, are they struggling? Is he trying to find out? Because that is like a problem. I'm surprised this didn't happen sooner, but maybe it isn't actually as I don't know what the word would be. I'm not really going to go into that, but I'm surprised that nothing bad happened to Uncle Red if he was trying to deceive people. Not like to feel bad for him, but I'm just surprised that like these guys didn't like flip out. Like, this guy appears to be flipping out.
I'm a woman. He does not believe him. He's
Wait, hold on, let me just. So we have text that we're kind of just skipping over.
This is Sister Red. So he starts confronting
Because
Uncle
like they're struggling. He's like, wait.
Red, asking, are you a man?
Yeah, are you asking?
Man or a woman? Are you a man or a woman? And this
He just says, I'm a girl. So he's saying here that he's a girl.
is going to be another moral dilemma that we're going to go down, and lots of people have been having debates about it, but right now, pause on that. He's asking, are you a man or a woman?
Don't be like that.
Uncle Red lies and says, I'm a woman, I'm a woman. He does not believe him.
You keep doing that, I'll call the police, I think.
He's like, I don't believe you.
What?
So then finally, Uncle Red tells him, well, I'm going to call the police if you keep harassing me and asking me these questions.
Says their girl again.
And he has this moment, reportedly, in the video where he
And then I'm guessing this is where it comes with like, oh, I'm already here, might as well. That's what he's going to end up saying, right?
He thinks about it. He ponders it. And then he decides, you know what? I'm already here. I might as well. And the next frame of him that netizens have clipped from that video is of him in likely a moment of pleasure.
I'm surprised that Uncle Red still wanted to go through with that after like just like grappling with this guy. Like, you'd be like, hey, get out of here. But I'm guessing he wants the money, right? So there's that. The money online. But yeah, that could have turned into what is referred to as, against YouTube is so annoying, what is referred to as trans panic, I believe, which is like when a man finds out that a woman is that and then possibly harms them, right? It's like, it's not a good thing. So that's why I'm surprised that hasn't happened to Uncle Red. Like, he hasn't been, attacked or possibly killed because he is not telling the truth, question mark. In this like, he's specifically not telling the truth. I'm not saying like other people aren't, but like Uncle Red's not telling the truth.
It's now become a meme, again, wildly inappropriate. Nevertheless, I'm just reporting on what's happened. A meme shows a screenshot of the video where you can see him pondering, looking very pensive. And then right after it, right under it, it shows him looking up at the ceilings with his hands resting on his hips. And he looks like he is enjoying the moment. And it says, I'm already here. Something doesn't feel right, but might as well.
Yeah, in Chinese, like, 来都来了.
Oh,
really viral.
Yeah. These have gone very viral, and pretty quickly everyone found out who the might as well guy even is. He works as a teacher from one of the elite Shanghai kindergartens, and if you're wondering, a lot of people actually travel to Nanjing to meet up with Uncle Red.
Oh.
Yes. So the kindergarten that he works at, to go there, you have to send your child there, you have to pay $22,000 a year for kindergarten to learn how to count to, I don't know, 26. It costs $22,000 a year.
So is this guy gonna get fired from his job? Question mark. Him like almost, committing a crime by assaulting Uncle Red, like, is bad, but at least he thought it through and was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna go through with it anyways. We can moral dilemma, whatever is happening there. Again, it's still the fact that Red recorded this. So does this guy even still have a job? It's like, really, like, what is he gonna get fired for? If he does get fired for having relations with someone on his own personal time, right? Like, what's going to be the crime there of him getting fired? Like, I guess like companies don't really need a reason to fire you if you're it's not whatever a company would be for like a job level of like a brand risk, because it's not like a brand risk, right? It's just like people like jobs can fire you if they think you're going to cause too much negative attention for the job. It doesn't matter if you're like good at your job or you didn't technically do anything wrong. If you are like, just if your presence is enough to cause issues at the job, they'll fire you, right? So it doesn't matter if you're innocent or you don't do anything wrong. You still can get fired just because of that, because it's like whatever the equivalent of a brand risk for a job, thus like the school. So I assume he's fired.
But I digress. The most appalling revelation, however, is that he has a wife and children. So he
well, he is committing evil, so he cheated. It's two wrongs, like, right? It's just two separate wrongs being happening here. Uncle Red and this guy. So that probably is enough to also get him in trouble with the school. Not just the fact that, again, it's the job equivalent of brand risk. It's also he's committed adultery.
He quickly deactivates his accounts. Everyone thought that he was just going to disappear off the internet, focus on his personal life. But no, not long after, a new Douyin account pops up with who only netizens can describe as being the doppelganger of this man posting workout videos in the similar fashion of the might as well guy before he deactivated his account. So comments start questioning him. Hey, did you, just delete your old account and start a new one with a fake name? He has since vehemently denied it, stating that you must have the wrong guy, which the comments read, dude, it's totally you. Same shoes, same tank top, same everything. Way too recognizable. You got the same height, same build, same everything. He too has a bit of a buff build and typically liked to post his workout selfies and shirtless photos on social media before everything blew up, which has now cemented this joke in a lot of netizens' minds that if you post shirtless workout selfies, then you remind everyone of Uncle Red's type, which are young, buff dudes. So now under random fitness influencers videos, there are comments that read, hold on, let me check my dictionary first. And the new term dictionary means the collage of men from Nanjing. 1,000 men pictures. Another one reads, please put your shirt back on. We're not in the mood these days. Another one reads, show this to Uncle Red, you're his type. Another one says, what number are you for Uncle Red? Another says, brother, please stop showing off. Everyone is trying to find out which one you look like.
Are we just responding to, like, I don't know who these people are responding to. Are they responding to like these thirst trap men that are like the gym bros? And that's like the responses now to like to insult them. Like, hey, the Uncle Red memes, Uncle Red jokes under these male thirst traps.
Another reads, either put your shirt on first. Currently, we feel nothing. The moment we see someone flexing muscles, all we can think about is whether or not you have kissed Uncle Red. Or another one that simply states, let's not talk about whether or not you are popular. First, you need to tell us if you've been to Nanjing. To which some netizens find the whole social discourse very confusing, and they comment, imagine being a fitness guru right now.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just some of these guys clearly were committing wrongs on top of going to see Uncle Red, but some of them were just like guys who probably just wanted to, either have relations or they maybe liked Uncle Red, or they're just lonely, and they're going to go see Uncle Red, and like they're all victims, even the bad ones, technically they're victims, even though they're bad. But then now we have, what's the phrase? I don't know why I can't think of it. This is why, like, when I'm doing videos, I can just pause and be like, okay, I remember I know what I want to say. It's because it's not friendly fire. It's to casualties. It's another way of saying casualties, innocent casualties. I don't know. I can't think of it. It's thing. It's like right there. I can't remember what it is. But like people that have nothing to do with this are now getting flack from it. Like they're just like gym bros, right? Like, oh, and they're just getting like hate on because this thing happens. So there's all this friendly fire happening, or not friendly fire, but like, you know what I'm saying. The phrase I can't think of right now is they're just taking extra flack, and they have nothing to do with this.
Now, they write, quote, overnight, the thirst trap men watched their skies fall down. It's said that if you post fitness content and you're from Nanjing, you're almost obligated to add in your bio.
I just remember the word I'm thinking of. Collateral damage, I think. We're just getting collateral for like people who have like nothing to do with this. They're just taking flack as collateral damage.
Never seen Red Uncle. So example, there is an online user, a fitness guru from Nanjing called Chestnut Loves Spinach. That was his username. Now it's Chestnut Loves Spinach, parentheses, I swear I've never seen Uncle Red, end parentheses. So it's become a huge thing and people are still making memes out of it. So there's this one incident, including a foreigner, and that incident has since gone viral because when Uncle Red sees his private parts, Uncle Red, it's just interesting, like the amount of discourse that has occurred from this case is vast and it's vastly different depending on where you look. So for these people, they're saying this is almost like a social experiment and we should treat it as such. And a lot of netizens have
What does it mean?
Psychoanalyzed each video and each reaction to Uncle Red's video. So for example, when this foreigner
First off, why is so many people just like psychoanalyzing these videos? Hello, you're watching voyeuristic videos. That's against the law, is it not? To watch this kind of stuff, like sure, it's like where are they getting the videos from the get-go, right? Did the police just let them out, even though it doesn't make sense for them to just let them go, or they're just finding them online? Like all the videos are just online, and people are just like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna watch them, even though it's, you know, illegal content.
Foreigner walks in, people say Uncle Red has finally solved the debate of if size matters, because Uncle Red puts both of his hands out gasping and says, whoa, it's huge. And after they were done, Uncle Red paid him $14 for the experience. And the netizens state that even the foreigner looks confused and doesn't really appear to know what to do with
And he's just like standing there, like staring at the money.
The cash with the $14. And then just to add more complexity to things, there are now AI videos that depict industry leaders visiting Uncle Red, including Jensen Huang of NVIDIA. I think it has to do with the fact that Jensen Huang, tech founder, has an obsession with black leather jackets.
I think you would know if this guy, because he has like a specific kind of face, right? Plus he's also, you know, the head of NVIDIA.
Which happened to be from Tom Ford and probably cost lots of money, but that's like his
Custom leather jacket from Humanoid Robot. I mean, just being silly, but
Achilles heel, and it made him one of the more viral AI Uncle Red parodies.
So they were AIing him into these videos. So deep fakes. I keep talking about deep fakes. So we're deep faking him into these videos. So there's pretty good deep fake. I mean, deep fakes are just like, it's unfortunate. Like you can't trust anything anymore, which is going to become a problem for you know, justice. Because you could just be like, hey, that's a deep fake of me. I wasn't there on camera. Someone used AI to do that. That's a deep fake. Or there's like a joke going around where there's like these fingers you can wear on your hand to make it look like you're wearing, like you have multiple fingers. So if you're ever caught doing something bad, you could be like, oh, that's just AI. Look, I have like 6 or 7 fingers in that video. This is clearly AI. But it's like just you wearing like a prosthetic to make it look like you have a bunch of fingers, right? You just can't, like, unfortunately AI has caused an issue, a dilemma, as we kept using in this video, where video might no longer be a viable source of evidence.
He's in China, where he's coming to Uncle Red and giving
them a freaking graphics card, really? I mean, we are making fun here with putting him into that, but like really, he pulls out a graphics card as a gift. I mean, what other thing would he give other than a graphics card? At least I think it is, but I guess because it's AI, it looks so weird. Is it? It's just, is it actually an RTX 500, or is RTX 500 even real? I think it's like even that's like just bad AI on that. But yeah, just like really just giving a graphics card as a present.
him like an NVIDIA chip. Trump is also one of the AI videos.
Sure.
People have created Lego sets for Uncle Red's place, which shows
I feel like we're really gonna show that on this Mango video. Hello.
Uncle Red and men having intimate relations, and a line of people waiting outside, waiting to get in. Some of them are holding watermelons, bottles of oil. Some netizens comment it's not the most realistic, stating that there's too much oil because a lot of these guys would only bring half the container of oil. Yeah. Others point to the pink slippers, and they've made memes of this pink slipper.
What is with the Lego set though? I'm just like, I'm not really, I didn't take it in because it was just like so ludicrous and I feel like it shouldn't have even been on the screen. Why Lego? What does Lego have anything to do with this other than it was like the flavor of the week for AI generation? It's like, oh yeah, people are making Lego memes with AI, so let's use it to do memes about Uncle Red. Because it seems like you're adding extra layers of inappropriate because it's like a child's toy that you're doing inappropriate things with, right?
With zoomed in pictures of it saying, no one feels sorry for the slipper. It has been worn by over 1,000 people. Others have gone to recreate Uncle Red's quote iconic look by donning a wig with bangs, throwing on a mask, silky blouse, and a long skirt.
Where the heck is this? How do you, like, where are you taking a picture with like a hoop chain? This is like a, on stage, it feels like. Right? Like you're performing on stage. So it's just like a professional setting that you're just doing this?
And I will say, you know what this discourse is reminiscent of? Again, I'm not comparing severity. I'm just comparing crime happens discourse that is so big and almost all on the same level of dark humor. It reminds me of all the baby oil jokes.
Yes, as I was mentioning that earlier, the baby oil earlier, because I don't know anything about the Diddy stuff really, except for like he's obsessed with baby oil, right? Allegedly, because again, I don't even know if that's true, but it's the baby oil stuff.
Where it's like the discourse is almost bigger than the case itself, and it's generally on the hee hee ha ha side and not the I'm gonna take this seriously side. So that's kind of what it's reminiscent of. So you have people recreating Uncle Red's iconic look, that's what they call it, by throwing on a mask, silky blouse, long skirt. There are fashion tutorials on how to achieve Uncle Red's makeup. Some clubs have even started adopting the Uncle Red memes with giant screens inside the club that read, anyone who is late with their round, dodges their shot, or doesn't focus on drinking is going to be sent straight to Uncle Red's house. That's what it says. There's just been a lot of reports and discourse and online conversations about the fact that Uncle Red was able to get so many men to come visit them. And in one video, according to reports,
I am surprised. Like, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not surprised that, or I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. No. I am surprised that he was able to get that many people. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not. Right? It's like, how did he do it?
A foreigner is using an app. So foreigners will come. Uncle Red will use a translation app to even talk to them. There is nothing barring any guest from coming in and having intimate relations with Uncle Red. Uncle Red seems to be open to anybody, and they will be using this app to translate the conversation. And at one point, the foreigner pushes the phone towards Uncle Red, who is talking into the phone near the foreigner's face. And netizens believe that Uncle Red has very bad breath because the foreigner keeps looking away, sneaking in breaths of fresh air. And at one point, he just straight up covers his nose with his hand. But the main comment reads, the way he's gagging and covering his mouth when Uncle Red is talking. To which the next comment reads, but he still didn't leave. And that is where the nickname that Uncle Red is an absolute manslayer comes about. And a lot of memes have spurred from the fact that netizens joke Uncle Red is eating better than them. They state that a lot of the men showing up to Uncle Red's apartment are young, good-looking, well-built guys that have a lot of people would have dated them. So why did they find Uncle Red instead of them? That's a huge conversation being thrown out. Yeah,
it's like, how is he such a man-eater? Like, how is he doing it? In today's social economy, what do you say all of that?
Meme is where Uncle Red is using his tongue to try and pick out food that is stuck in between his teeth. And the words across the meme are, I'm eating better than you, sister. People start creating these AI videos of Uncle Red giving lectures, dating advice to women on how to capture, quote, good quality men. With the AI video showing someone who kind of appears to be Uncle Red in the same apartment, saying things such as, today I'm going to teach all my sisters how to get high quality household goods.
I mean, this is just AI Uncle Red. It's not like looks like, this is AI using his appearance. What's with that? Is that an apple? What is that? Why is it yellow? Have I never seen a yellow apple or like an unripe apple? I'm assuming it's unripe, or maybe it's not an apple.
很满足，千万不要成为男孩眼中的拜金女。第二，要给男人足够的情绪价值，哪怕3秒钟，吊夸他们很棒，提升他们的自信心是聪明女人必须掌握的技能。
The only reason I'm even like questioning the apple is because it's AI. Like maybe I do know about apples like that. It's just like that. The fact that it's AI, I'm like, do those even exist? Is that even real? Like the AI is making me like question.
首先，
First, I don't need a house or a car or wedding dowry.
我不要房，不要车，也不要彩礼，一个西瓜，
A watermelon, a pack of
一包
napkins,
纸巾，半桶花生油，
half bottle of seed oil is enough for me.
我就很满足。千万不要成为
Don't become a gold digger in men's
男孩眼
eyes.
中的拜金女。第二，
2. Give men enough emotional support.
要给男人足够的情绪价值，哪怕3
Even only lasts 3 seconds, you still need to tell them good job.
秒钟，吊夸他们很棒，提升他们的自信。
Grow their confidence is every smart woman's necessary
是
skill.
聪明女人必须掌握的技能。
Third, you have to be proactive and make the first move. But the truth of the matter is, no matter how good looking a guy is, when he is hungry, he will still eat trash. Unless he's very rich, then he will only eat Michelin star food. Sisters, follow Uncle Red to learn more. It's never too late to learn. Another Uncle Red lesson reads, Uncle Red teaches that attracting a man doesn't require thirst traps. A face mask, long skirt, long sleeves, and bangs are sufficient. Some netizens have called this a Black Mirror episode in real life. Others have called it a real life study, studying
A real life Black Mirror episode. Is it? I feel like that it's not tech enough for that. Because usually Black Mirror revolves around like technology, and this is literally just as low end of that as possible, like just recording voyeurism.
what? We're not entirely sure yet, but a study of something. If you go through Chinese social media, there are pages of threads and threads of online netizens breaking down different types of discourse that is spurring because of the Uncle Red situation. One of them is breaking down the types of gifts that were brought to Uncle Red's house by these men and Uncle Red's reaction to these gifts. Some think that Uncle Red's always positive, always thankful reaction is the most intriguing part of this. Others think that the gifts that these men choose willingly is more insight on the psyche of humankind.
Sure. I mean, you could say that. Like, if they're allowed to bring anything, as long as it's something, you could argue it's a reflection of that person in some way, shape, or form, right? Like someone who brings in just like a half thing of oil, or I don't know, whatever other thing, a carton of milk, or the person who brings in like the most expensive thing. Like, who brings in the most expensive thing? What does that say about them? Who brings in like a pack of chewing gum? What does that say about them? Right? I think that's what they're trying to get at.
They break it down. Some men have come empty-handed. It's been
That's possible. That's still okay.
reported that Uncle Red never specifically demands anything to be brought to him, but
Okay, so they just bring something to give something. So it doesn't even have to be a escort level transaction. It could just be, let's just, meet up.
these men bring stuff out of courtesy, and it's kind of awkward to go empty-handed. However, some men do. The others, all of these gifts are just like random household necessities that range from food products like a single watermelon, packets of milk. I mean, you would think that some of these netizens analyzing the gifts are doing dissertations, myself included, I guess, dissertations on this topic because they've broken down the types of milk that were gifted.
Hold on, roll that back.
Myself included.
No, further.
Milk. I mean, you would think that some of these netizens analyzing the gifts are doing
Like moving around, like that's gonna make a difference. I can't tell what's in that bag. It looks like flowers, so it's like this guy brought this, but did he also bring her flowers? Or who he thinks is her, like him? Did he bring him flowers? Like, is he like actually like trying to court Uncle? I can't tell if those are flowers or maybe it's just like more food. So I was like maybe these guys actually just want to be with him? Question mark.
dissertations, myself included, I guess, dissertations on this topic because they've broken down the types of milk that were gifted to Uncle Red. Milk is one of the more popular gifts, and almost every single time, all these men picked out the cheapest milk, the cheapest brand of milk, the cheapest type of milk, the cheapest kind of milk, the cheapest milk. There's one brand in China that is known for having milk that is cheaper than a bottle of water.
So that's kind of crazy to be like, yeah, our milk's cheaper than water, which water should be free. Of course it's not, but water should be free. and yet they're cheaper than water. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I was wondering if, like I said earlier, if brands are actually going to take hits from showing up in these videos. Like they're going to get less business, which, I mean, again, the companies shouldn't be like, oh, boohoo companies. But I'm wondering if like any of them took hits, right?
Milk is cheaper than a bottle of water. That's the brand that almost all of them went with.
Kind of alarming.
Yeah, the milk was still considered a top tier gift on the gift analysis hierarchy, with tissue paper being on the lower end. Almost all the men that brought tissue paper would bring like a small packet of tissue paper, like a 3-pack little Kleenex pack.
I was like, did she literally talk about like the little thing that's like what? A few, I don't even know, like the smaller than a phone. You know, those little packets that are like smaller than a phone nowadays, and then like just a few tissues in it. Like really? That's where you're taking? I mean, again, they don't have to bring anything, but like, that's it.
Packet, but they would buy the cheapest 1-ply tissue paper that if you were to try and wipe water off your hand, it would stick to your hand and disintegrate into white fluff all over your hand. How do netizens know this? A mixture of personal experience, and according to some netizens who have personally viewed the illegal footage, they state that after one man gifted the 1-ply tissue paper, another man came over and used it to wipe their private parts, but the tissue paper disintegrated, leaving tens of little pieces of tissue paper on their private parts, and it is reported that this man spent quite a bit of time dusting it off of himself while Uncle Red just stood there watching and waiting. Another man brought a bag of fruit for Uncle Red, but apparently
Yeah, fruit, but what's this? Are those flowers?
on the way, on the journey, on the trek to finding Uncle Red's place, he got so hungry that he ate half of the fruit.
Like, what do you mean a half? Like half a watermelon type of half, or just like a bag of apple? He
Yeah.
ate half a bag. Okay.
But the top tier gift, the most expensive gift being cooking oil. One man was so stingy that he bought a bottle of cooking oil, and he decided that he wasn't going to give Uncle Red all of the cooking oil, so he got a Dasani water bottle, filled that up with cooking oil, and brought the Dasani water bottle of cooking oil to Uncle Red's house.
Is that gonna like dilute the oil? Or I guess it wouldn't dilute it, right? Because the oil and water don't mix, right?
Or it could just be leftover oil that he has at home.
Yeah. Another man brought one of the more valuable gifts. Some netizens have argued it's almost heartfelt, which is a fish.
A fish.
A fish that the man caught himself. Uncooked.
That looks like a big fish. I mean, not big, but like...
Still attached to the fishing wire, just like a live fish from the river. And Uncle Red's response in his soft voice was an encouraging, wow, you were able to catch such a big fish. Some joke that by this rate, after 3 years, Uncle Red should be able to open up his own grocery store, and people have created memes of photoshopped images of Uncle Red in his own grocery store. It is to the point where people say if you're a Nanjing local, it's best not to walk around with a single lone watermelon, a carton of milk, or a bottle of oil. And that has also led to a lot of deep analysis on the men. There have been like, okay, so the moral dilemma.
Yeah, like we're like skipping over the fact that, you know, these guys were victims of voyeurism, and it's like, oh yeah, let's psychoanalyze all these men's decision of like gifts that they brought, right? It just seems like in Nanjing, or I think that's like the place, right? It's kind of just going to be screwed for a while, and it's probably just going to be, you probably should just get out of there, but like that makes things worse possibly, because you're like ruining the city by leaving and having less people there. But it kind of seems like there's too much of a stigma on men there now. Like you assume all the men will just like run away from the place now because of like what happened with Uncle Red.
It's tenfold. So first of all, the moral dilemma is this an appropriate reaction that the internet and society can have to a situation like this, where everything is okay up until Uncle Red illegally films these without consent and then releases them online? Clearly, that's a very bad crime. These men are ultimately victims, but is it okay to have this type of reaction? That's the first moral dilemma. The second moral dilemma comes in the fight of a lot of guys and women are fighting in the comments section. So a lot of girls, they are making jokes about this case. And they're saying, you know what? Because I feel like there are lots of crimes against women where men make jokes about it. I mean, take the Diddy baby oil situation, for example. Lots of jokes are being made. And so why do we have to suddenly be so sensitive when nobody is sensitive towards crimes against women? And so it's been like this back and forth, almost like a mini gender war at times. It's been really intense. And then there's also been conversations of why did all these men even go to Uncle Red's house? A lot of men have decided to take this as a teaching moment for women. And they are telling women it's because Uncle Red gives off energy where he will support men. And it's because all of these feminist gold diggers are just looking for Lamborghinis and not cooking oil. It's why women can't get any of these young straight men, and Uncle Red is getting all of them. And that's become a whole conversation itself.
I think the entire pot is just like not good, right? Like everything, all the discourse is just not great. Like I was saying earlier, like all this is probably going to make it harder to get in a relationship, I guess, since it's just so divisive, so stigmatizing in that area. Like relationships are probably going to be declining, even though, apparently relationships in general, all over the world. I don't know if it's just a West thing, but all over the world are kind of like been plummeting for like a long time. Like nobody's really getting together. So I'd only imagine this is hurting that even more. Question marks. I'm assuming like the amount of relationships that are going to happen in this area are going to be pretty low, probably compared to everywhere else. I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, that's only if this sticks around. This is something that just happens. So it's like, how long is this stigma going to last for? And is that going to last for years? And if it's for years, will that affect, like the dating scene? And if so, then will that lead to, declining birth rate, blah, 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 right? Which is already something that's happening, but is it going to be amplified in this small area in China because of this one instance, right?
Yeah. I saw one. It was like a guy, the girlfriend was like, I want a new iPhone. And then he flashed back to Uncle Red.
Yeah.
Like only wanting a Apple.
Yeah. So one netizen breaks it down of Uncle Red's allure, and he says, Uncle Red's videos actually sneak in a whole crash course on how to treat men. The second a guy walks in through the door, Uncle Red greets him like an old friend, not with a stuck up like, what do you want? Why are you here face? Which, like, I don't know anyone who does that, but okay. A second, yeah, the apartment
Oh, that's a straw man, right?
is decent at best, but it feels cozy, like a home. 3, he even washes fruit, hands it over. Even for a casual fling, he gets treated like an honorable guest at Uncle Red's. 4, he takes charge to initiate physical conduct instead of just laying there like a dead starfish. He's fully engaged. 5, when a couple of guys get overwhelmed and get performance anxiety down there, Uncle Red doesn't roll his eyes or pile on pressure. He eases the awkwardness and gets them back in the game. 6, he has thick lips. One netizen agrees, saying, Uncle Red has proved to women that men are not actually picky. But a lot of women have a lot of things to say about that, obviously, with one comment reading, I want to thank Uncle Red for getting rid of so many red flags for us. And they're not even talking about the men in the videos. They're talking about people saying things like this about...
Yeah, like the people just being annoying or mean or whatever online.
Uncle Red. So it's become another moral dilemma. One netizen even comments, his voice is gentler than 80% of Chinese women, which I'm telling you, Chinese women had a field day with that comment. Another one comments, Uncle Red reflects the emptiness in the Chinese man's heart. Their wives are too fierce. At least Uncle Red is submissive. Another group of men are just fully outraged that women are not outraged at this situation because the victims are men, stating that women would have been more outraged had the victims been women. And women are agreeing, saying, yeah, but when have you been outraged? Last time, the list of victims were women. Like, men are never outraged. It's women being outraged for women. And now the men are the victims. You guys go be outraged. We're tired. So that's been another whole collective discourse of like, why are women being held to greater, higher standards than men? And why do we have to be the emotional outrage factor for every single crime that's ever been committed if men don't do the same for women? So that's been a conversation. A lot of women are also expressing frustration that a lot of men are using this to teach their girlfriends, wives, and random internet women lessons on how to be more generous and less demanding in order to get a man. There is also a debate online, a completely separate debate, of whether or not Uncle Red disclosing or not that he is a man to the male guest is a violation of consent or not. With people,
I mean, I'm pretty sure technically it is supposed to be, right? Question mark. In some it depends on where you it depends on where you are, right? If someone like consents to relations, but they consented to relations with X, Y, or Z, or let's just say they consented to relations with X, but they that's also probably bad phrasing. They consented to relations with A, but they actually had relations with B. They didn't consent to having relations with B, and it turns out like they were a B, right? It just depends on like where you are, whether or not that's like it's not full consent, question mark.
People debating online, if they don't know that Uncle Red is a man and they are catfished under the impression that he is a woman, is that a crime in and of itself? Or is that some sort of moral dilemma in and of itself? I think the conversation is tricky because when it comes to disclosure of genders, usually I'm on the side of people that have not had gender affirming surgery will usually, for their own safety, disclose to their partners prior to intimacy. And also because they even state preference for certain equipment. It has no correlation to any sort of homophobia, transphobia. Like sometimes you're just not attracted to certain body parts. And so you want to let them know like, hey, I might have a body part that you're not attracted to. So let me tell you before we get started. However, Uncle Red is not a member of the trans community. And this is clearly not a normal situation. Uncle Red's main objective here is to profit off these hidden camera videos. And side note, that's another moral dilemma of like, he's genuinely perpetuating homophobia and transphobia through this case. So it's not good. But the fact that he's not disclosing that he's a man, I mean, it's up for debate. A lot of people are debating whether that goes against consent. Many netizens have gone through the footage and sorted these men into 3 different categories. The first group being a group of men that do not ask Uncle Red about his gender, likely not even thinking about it. They have intimate relations, and because of the way Uncle Red lifts up his skirt and very quickly moves things along, they may not have even noticed anything about what equipment Uncle Red possesses down there.
That's what I was saying earlier, that the way she said it, it seems like he is just trying to make sure that they don't find out.
With some netizens arguing, just because the men don't ask doesn't make it less deceitful. Some saying, well, they didn't know, so it doesn't matter. But then some are saying, maybe if it wasn't for the videos being released, because maybe if they didn't know, it didn't matter to them. They didn't ask, Uncle Red didn't tell them, and then they had these consensual intimate relations, that's fine. But then now these videos are being posted online without their consent, and then add the element that we still live in a society, especially in Asian countries, where there is a lot more homophobia that can actually, I mean, even in the US still, even in Western countries, that can ruin your life, that can take away your job, that can do all of these things. Does that make it less consensual because of the video element? I mean, you could go down this entire rabbit hole, black hole for like 10 years. And then you have a second group of people from the victims list where they discover that Uncle Red is a man and they don't care, with a few even reciprocating oral activities. There's no debate there until you get to the illegal videos. And then you have the third group of people that have their suspicions or they straight up ask Uncle Red, like the might as well guy, and he lies to them. There's one video where a man starts interrogating him, like, and he flat out lies. Uncle Red is like, don't be ridiculous, you're seeing wrong. And from there, some of these men will run away. Uncle Red does not hold them captive, but
Okay, so some guys actually just left.
still, that's not saying much. And then
And I was still surprised that there wasn't any sort of altercation, question mark. I mean, maybe there was, they just didn't, he didn't record it though. You know, again, not to say that, you know, Uncle Red's a good person, but I was like, I don't think we want to see him or see someone get beat up or killed, right? So he still should go to jail, but I guess it's good that a human being didn't get beaten up, question mark, / killed because of the lie, question mark.
And then others are staying and just pushing through the activities. Netizens are arguing whether or not straight up lying is a violation against the men. If the answer is yes, it is a violation, then the next argument dilemma is, then what about the ones that continue to stay afterwards, even though netizens claim that you can see on their faces that they don't believe Uncle Red? Is that still a violation against them? Is that not a violation? People are saying it's just very confusing, and I think that everybody has a different opinion about this case. Some are saying you can't have these debates without bringing in the illegal filming and releasing of these videos factor. Because maybe if they knew the whole world was going to find out about it, they would have asked. Maybe they wouldn't have stayed because maybe they're not homophobic, but they're scared of being outed. Maybe they genuinely thought that Uncle Red was a woman. Like, it's very confusing.
Yeah.
It's like,
I said that earlier in the video where I don't know what the stigma is for being gay over there is, and thus like these videos could have like a lot more damage than you would like think otherwise, because like there is a lot of people like, I don't know, like upset with the men going over there, and I don't know if that's just because it's you know, because it's gay and they're just dancing around the issue, but it's like they're mad at these men because they're doing something gay, right? Like, I don't know, I feel like that's obviously, it has to be some of it. Like, it's not necessarily all of why some of these guys are getting hate. Like, obviously some of them is because they're cheating, but I wouldn't doubt it if some of it is just because it's gay and like there's a stigma around it over there, and thus they're getting upset with them. Or like, again, if they lose their jobs, they could be losing their jobs because of this. Because again, job brand risk / stigma against being gay, etc., etc.
like a moral conundrum, I guess, is how people describe it. And then there is the morality of doxing the victims. So there has been a lot of debate of, would this have happened if the victims were women? And okay, I will say one thing, which is when we do a lot of research for these cases, I think it's a really good conversation of like two things can be true at once.
And not mutually exclusive.
I think male victims, especially when it's crimes, like sexual crimes.
I think she's gonna get into like stuff like this. I was trying to avoid the whole gender war stuff. Like, that's why I didn't make a comment on that. I'm just not dealing with that right now. But I think she's about to make the point that if you're a male victim, like nobody cares about you, or at least some version of that. I'm assuming that's just what she's gonna say.
Especially when the perpetrator is a woman and it's a male victim, they do not get taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean that's just classic male victim thing. Like if a guy is assaulted by a woman, it's like, oh, he wanted it. You hear like they were asking for it, like on the other side, like when depending on like their clothes, like that's like the messed up thing, right? Oh, they asked for it, but like if it's just a woman to a man, well then it's like, oh yeah, he's a man, of course he wanted it, of course, like he doesn't care, like putting words in mouth, especially even if they're a child, like that's the bad part, right? Like if you're a male child who's assaulted by a woman, it's like, oh yeah, he must have loved it. Like you hear like gross stuff like that, right? There's a double standard with that when it comes to male victims, especially boy victims.
However, I don't think we can always say, would this have happened if the woman was the victim? Because, I mean, there's so many cases where women are the victims, a lot of cases where women are the victims. They're laughed at, they're mocked, nothing happens, they get injustice. So it almost insinuates that if you're a female victim, you're going to get justice. Everyone's going to stick up for you, which is not the case at all. So I think two things can be true at once. However, this I might agree with because there has been a lot of social media discourse about the titles of the videos that people are re-releasing these illegal footage videos under. So a lot of these websites have taken these videos and started creating eye-catching titles. For example, one reads, buzz cut, anxious guy, brother says nothing, just keeps taking off his clothes. Looks like he's getting ready to fight. Another one reads, milk guy knows Uncle Red has been working hard taking care of so many people, brings milk to help Uncle Red recover. Another one just reads, done in a minute. Another one, die-hard fan of Uncle Red, returns multiple times. Another, a carton of milk and a packet of tissues in exchange for Red's private time. Another, watermelon brother brings coolness to Uncle Red's scorching hot summer. Who wouldn't love such a thoughtful man? So some people are saying if these were illegal videos of women that were taken without their consent, would they have been released? But then you have some women fighting back and they're saying,
like, I still don't know how they got released to begin with. Like, how do y'all have these videos? Unless they're like from the people who had them on Telegram. Are the police, like, where are you getting the videos from? There's no way the police are just handing them out.
actually they would have, and they would have created titles like this. But what's crazy is it happens so often, it actually doesn't make the news, and that's why you don't think it happens.
You know, literally, as we speak, there's a huge Anthroom case in China that's happening at the same time.
I do think I got some emails about that.
Yeah, which everyone's talking about this. Yeah.
So it's like, just when you think, okay, that's a good point, then someone will come and say, no, it's because you're just unaware, because when it's a female victim, it happens so frequently, it doesn't really make the news unless it's a massive scale operation. So it's been...
There's a lot of bickering happening here between both sides that it's like, it shouldn't be happening, right? We should just be like, okay, something bad happens. Let's just say something bad happened, right? We don't have to do this fighting, like this turmoil between each other. Like, we shouldn't be fighting each other, right?
This huge back and forth. And one of the main topics being, who defines victim? Are these men victims or not? Because
is that we can get to that point, like we're saying they're not victims, even though it's voyeurism.
A lot of people are also saying a lot of these men, they're here to take advantage of someone. They're here to take advantage of Uncle Red. And yeah, it's consensual, but like, they're not perfect.
Taking advantage isn't just like a mutual consensual act. I mean, when normal people have relations with each other, is someone taking advantage of the other? I don't think so, question mark. So what do they mean by that? I mean, I get what they're saying. They're like, oh, it's because it's like escorting, but it isn't really. It seems like they don't even have to buy anything. They're just like two people having a one-night stand with each other, which happens all the time. But is every one-night stand taking advantage? Question mark.
Victims.
Because now that's you're trying to paint the picture as like Uncle Red's the victim.
They're here to take advantage of Uncle Red, and yeah, it's consensual, but like, they're not perfect victims. Others are arguing a lot of these men got caught cheating on their wives.
Yeah, again, not mutually exclusive. Uncle Red can be evil, and some of these men can be evil too.
A lot of these men have families.
Just multiple layers of evil.
A lot of these men have girlfriends, fiancés. So are they a victim? If they came here to do something bad and then something backfires, is it karma or is it victimization? That's been a conversation online. I'm not saying that's my conversation. And some people are even saying that the meme culture around this case is a lot. People have started creating anime business cards. So, you know,
Anime business cards.
you do like the character. It's like it gives you a rating for. It's like a video game.
Oh.
Not
Are
anime,
you talking
like
about
video
like Pokemon cards type of?
Kind of, but they have, it's like a thing now where you do it business style as well. So it's almost like characters in someone's office building.
Okay.
And you describe their personality and you rank them by appearance, EQ, IQ, overall ratings, stuff like
I don't know what she's talking about. Is it business card like a? I mean, it's like I wish she would show like an example because I don't know what she exactly means with business card. I'm not sure.
Oh, got it.
they do stars, and then they have like a cartoon character that they've drawn out of these guys from the video. And so, for example, one is nicknamed Strong Work Smell Guy, which is a term for in China where you're just overworked, exhausted, stressed out, and you carry around this scent of work with you. Like you just never can escape the idea that work is very depressing and everyone can feel it off of you. He comes over to Uncle Red's house. The two of them have their intimate relations. He wraps up rather quickly. Uncle Red asks him for $138, to which
What? That actually happened? Why? That he wasn't asking for money.
she responds, "My wife has all the money. If you want, go ask her." And then he runs off. He has his own little character
Score, looks, outfit, ability, and EQ.
card, and people are ranking him like 1 out of 5 stars. Others have described incredibly intense psychoanalysis of people's visits to Uncle Red's house, with one netizen post reading, "This guy never cares about hygiene and always complains a lot. He always looks guarded, looks around carefully, doesn't even want to wash up for Uncle Red. He hates the way Uncle Red looks. He only talks about how he feels, and he uses and trashes so many tissues. It's a blatant disregard for others and their belongings. He's selfish, seems to hate Uncle Red, but it's all a facade because he's come back multiple times and this is a reoccurring visitor." Then another one gets a card, and his name is just character number 2, Stingy Chubby Guy. It reads, "Came empty-handed, bargained while doing the housework, didn't cooperate well, only did part of the quote chores and left in a hurry." Another one reads, "Fruit Uncle. He's very warm and kind when he visits the elderly."
What is? I don't know what. I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know what EQ means. Unfortunately, so I don't know what we're saying with that.
Parentheses, Uncle Red. "He brings fruit and gives him a big hug to show he cares. He's also hardworking, so he does the chores. When he leaves, he'll even take out the trash. He's really amazing. We are also moved." Then another one. "This guy has a hot temper, is very straightforward, but the contract is already signed. He's already here. He will fulfill the agreement. At least he keeps his promises." Or another one that reads, "Thermal Pants Guy. Whenever he comes in for a meeting, he wears the same brown outfit with thermal pants. Every time he talks about the plan, he's very supportive, saying encouraging things like, 'If you do well, you'll get a bonus.' His ability is pretty sharp, and he seems to enjoy discussing the plan. He shows a strong willingness to work together and collaborate." Then you have people under these saying, is this actually appropriate to make for victims of crimes? And then people will fight back and comment, well, are they really victims if they're cheating, if they're putting their family at risk? Because there were reports coming out stating that these men from Uncle Red's videos, a lot of the videos, you can see sometimes that they will find certain fluids around their private parts that seem to be suspicious looking. And it seems like they have blatant disregard for their health, for their intimate health. And if they're married, if they're dating someone else, they could be spreading these things on unknowingly to people that some people on the internet believe are the true victims. Some people are...
That's why they're like making the joke or meme of Uncle Red being patient 0 or whatever. But apparently that wasn't it? Question mark. She said the 0 was like a bottom top thing. Yeah, that also is the case. But again, these things aren't mutually exclusive. Some of these guys can be bad, whilst Uncle Red also being bad. It just seems to be the bait of trying to say that they're all evil for going to see Uncle Red, question mark. Which I don't know why that's the narrative that's being spun so heavily, it seems. It's just... yeah, some of them are doing cheating, yes. They are bad, but the whole thing is also bad. It's layers of bad, but some of these guys are, again, probably just trying to just have normal relations, or are lonely, or X, Y, or Z, right? So, like, not all of them are bad, but we're generalizing them as potentially all bad because of them seeing red. But it's like, why is that? Is it because of the stigma for being gay, or just, I don't know, for just to be mad at guys in general? Question mark. I don't know.
They're saying the only victims really in this case are the wives and the girlfriends that
Sure, but not all of them are going to have partners, right?
are dating the men that are going to Uncle Red's house. It was briefly reported by the media that 11 of the men from Uncle Red's videos were tested and positive for HIV, but the police quickly shut that down, saying that's nothing but rumors. However, they later state there are like 3 people that did test positive for HIV.
Oof. Is it because of Uncle Red, or did they already have it beforehand?
However, it's unclear if it's connected to Uncle Red. In fact, they cannot release if Uncle Red has any sort of contagious disease, STD or HIV, because that would be a violation of his privacy, which a lot of netizens are upset about because they're like, a violation of his privacy? He violated so many people's privacy. Release that information.
Yeah, and then like, you know, all the people that's connected, 1,600 people connected.
Well, I think they have the right to that information. Just the public doesn't, question mark, I think. Because obviously I think the police have to tell all these people, like, hey, this person had so-and-so, you need to go get checked. Like, I think that is something that is a thing. Plus just it being said public, hey, we can't tell you if this guy has something going on with them. I think them hearing that will be enough to be like, okay, I need to go get tested, right?
Next to thousands of people.
Now, the authorities have stated that the 1,000+ number is a gross exaggeration. However, netizens don't believe the authorities. Netizens are like, I saw the pictures, I saw the videos, I'm believing the rumors. It's a lot of guys. Maybe it's not 1,600, maybe it's 1,500, maybe it's 900. Doesn't matter, it's a lot of guys. That's what netizens are saying. People are also annoyed because the government can't do anything. However, they are opening up their health center for a free HIV test if you feel like you are in fear of contracting something.
Oh, because of this?
Yes. In Nanjing. Really? Yes.
Oh, wow. So they do think there could be a lot of people that needs to get checked up.
Yes.
Wow.
So some people have used this as, see, these men are not victims. In fact, the only victims are their families that are at home, or their wives and their girlfriends.
Again, assuming they have girlfriends or wives, again, those are, again, mutually exclusive. Some of them can be bad, but also victims at the same time. It's not like they went into this assuming they would get a disease other than, like, you know, being unsafe. But
others are saying, well, they are victims because they're at risk and Uncle Red probably didn't tell them. But then the other argument is, well, they knew what they're going when they're going there. Like, they're not just going there to show up. So it's...
Yeah, but just because you're going somewhere to have relations doesn't mean you're expecting the person to be, like, to have a disease, right?
It's just been this carnival ride.
But it is on, like, them to practice safe so-and-so, right? It gets muddy, right? We're getting muddy.
Round of debates. Side note, some netizens also believe that this case is weeding out the not-so-bright men from the bright men. One boyfriend proudly texted his girlfriend that he bought a self-test kit at home since he had recently gone on a business trip to Nanjing, and he proudly stated that he tested negative. And he was very proud of him. Yeah, he proudly stated that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Because the thing with that is, he left town, got a test, then came back and like, hey, look, I took a test. I'm clean. The problem with that is that insinuates that you were fooling around and thus needed to take a test. Thus, you are a cheater. Meaning he's a dummy.
He tested negative, and he was very proud of himself for thinking ahead. And his girlfriend's response was obviously very cold and detached. And he says, "You're so cold. I'm safe, baby. Are you not happy?" To which netizens think this is the epitome of an empty mind. That was probably up to no good. With one comment reading, "A business trip? So
yeah, again, it insinuates that you were fooling around.
So frightened you took a test immediately? If he didn't cheat on this business trip, why would he need to take a test to begin with?
Yeah.
It's not like you catch it through the air."
Wow. The girlfriend posted that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And with this HIV scare that's happening, a lot of people in the LGBTQIA community are upset because it's like, again, are we really going to do this again where we are creating these homophobic, fear-based situations of the correlation between gay men and HIV? And it's just, I can see how infuriating that is. Specifically because I do think Uncle Red got off on duping straight men into believing that he was a woman. I think that was also part of the, quote, allure for selling these videos.
Yeah.
I think the people that were purchasing these videos, that was a huge element. It's very annoying. There have also been conversations on whether or not this is a comparable situation to Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Blue, if you don't know, is...
Do I know who this is? Question mark. Like, her face looks familiar, but not really. I don't want to like make the assumption that this is that person, but is this the woman who slept with like 1 billion guys in like one day? Is that who this is? I mean, I'm assuming she's about to say that, if it is that, but is that who this is? And also, it's not the same thing because that's like worldwide consent, right? I feel like everybody in the Grapple knew what the goal was for that, I assume. But is that who this is? Because her face is familiar, but not really familiar. And I don't know anything about that story other than some woman did that, right? In like a day or something, like that's what it was, right? She had relations with like 100 guys, 1 billion guys in like one day.
I think she's based in the UK. Is she British? I'm not sure, but she's an OnlyFans model who recently broke the record of sleeping with like 1,000 men in 12 hours in
Yeah, okay, so there's that person.
a day, 1,000 men. And she got a lot of hate. I mean, it made news internationally. People hated her. Versus Uncle Red, I think he's almost become a meme to the point where I don't think people hate him per se. They just make fun of him. I don't think there's this like deep-rooted, I despise you, you're setting humanity back. Whereas that was the case with Bonnie Blue. And there has been this debate of, wait, why is a woman who does it consensually, with men that are consensual, with men that know everything about her, and she's very proactive about STD health and preventing STDs, why does she get hate, but this man who's doing it is almost become a legend? That
I mean, they're joking, but it's still bad. Everyone still thinks it's bad, right? What's like, I understand what they're saying or coming from, but what's the word? It's I go through the list of sins. What is it? Is it? It's not gluttony, is it? I know saying gluttony for what she did, it sounds weird, but like that's, you have to like really think about that. Like, which one is it? Because she's committing something just in excess, I think, is the problem. Like 1,000 guys in 12 hours. Again, you can do whatever you want, right? And it's consensual. I think people just got mad because of the gluttony of it all, I guess. Just the overconsumption of that particular thing. I don't know how to like talk about that.
then a lot of guys come in and they're arguing, oh, well, you know why? It's because in Bonnie Blue's situation, the real victim are women, because women feel like she's perpetuating negative stereotypes about women and creating this stigma that women should be open and available for men and are obsessed with just like anyone on the street. Whereas in Uncle Red's situation, he's only victimizing men. And so these men are saying that's why women don't care. And that's why the world hates Bonnie Blue, because the ultimate victim is probably Bonnie Blue and other women. And whereas for Uncle Red, it's just men. But then there's been a lot of pushback on that as well. There's even been pushback on Uncle Red's name. So a lot of Chinese female netizens are really upset because initially he was called Uncle Red. And then people started calling him Sister Red or like Red Auntie.
Also, just for clarification, some people call it Uncle Hong.
Yes.
Hong. So Hong is the Chinese word for red.
Yes.
That's why people call it Sister Hong, Uncle Hong. It just means red in Chinese.
And a lot of Chinese female netizens were upset and they were stating, stop calling him Sister Hong. Like, there are 0 women involved. This is a man's crime. Don't drag women into it. Like, this is a man targeting men, harming men. And why do we have to call him a woman? And I think it has to do with the fact that he never states that it has nothing to do with the trans community. It genuinely just seems like he did this because it's part of the allure. It's part of the videos. It's part of maybe a kink that he has, is to trick straight men. So a lot of people were upset about that in China. And they're saying, you know, it doesn't make sense why we have to make him Sister Hong. With a lot of female Chinese netizens fighting back and saying, if a woman had genuinely secretly recorded and leaked footage of her sleeping with over 1,000 men, sold the footage without the men's consent and profited money off of it, she would have been eaten alive online. But Uncle Red has become a meme. So this is not a woman. Like, this is Uncle Red. He's never identified as a woman outside of committing these crimes. So what are we doing here? That's been a huge argument. Others are arguing Uncle Red did nothing wrong except for the videos. They're saying having sex with men is not wrong as a man. And everyone's like, wait, but we know that. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
That's just been like a weird conversation, but some people are commenting justice for Uncle Red. He did nothing wrong. Those men
Wait, what? Justice for sister? She did nothing wrong? Those men wanted it? I'm assuming that's just like a bad translation.
wanted it. I mean, I think that has a deeper meaning than just the words on the screen, though, because those men wanted it. That sounds like a play on when female victims want it.
Though that's what I was saying earlier, where that is kind of like the thing with male victims, question mark. If we can have that kind of talk where that is like they wanted it, but then you still have the same thing on the other side, right? Like, oh, they asked for it. There's two different things, right? Like those we're saying those are bad. I don't think I have to explain that, but like they asked for it. That's not, you shouldn't be saying that, but it probably shouldn't be saying they wanted it as well, right? I guess it's kind of like the same thing. They're just saying like, oh, they wanted it anyways. So you have that talk on both sides, which that's not how it should be. Though, in this case, yes, they wanted to have relations. In this case, they did want that, but they did not consent to being recorded and the footage sold and everybody on the planet seeing it, right? They didn't consent to that.
With one netizen also writing, I think apart from the secret filming and cheating, there is nothing to criticize. There's nothing wrong with being gay, being bi, but there's nothing wrong with dating or hooking up. There's nothing wrong with liking Uncle Red's appearance either, which a lot of people are like, well, now you're just boiling it down to this like random argument that everybody already knows. It's like, of course, nothing's wrong with being gay. We already knew that. But this is like a really
the voyeurism is a problem.
Weird situation to be like, there's nothing wrong with being gay. When everyone's like, yeah, we know there's nothing wrong with being gay. Yeah. You're the weird one for thinking like this is your coming out moment of like, there's nothing wrong with being gay. Like, no, we've been there. We all know. Did you just catch up? So there's been that argument of people fighting back and forth. And then some people are saying people who are saying that are just trying so hard to be woke that they're like, no, guys, this is a victimless crime. And then some people, it's just been such a fight.
That's crazy. Yeah.
There have also been some memes that some people find funny, some people find very offensive, but some netizens have gone on to Photoshop Uncle Red's face onto Buddha statues.
Why would you do that?
A statue that depicts Uncle Red standing, resting both feet on the heads of two young men. And in one hand is a watermelon, in the other hand is a bottle of oil. Others are making cakes of Uncle Red's face with words that read, I wish you have 1,691 men pursuing you this new year. It's supposed to be a celebratory cake. And so people are like, that is crazy that this is happening. And it just seems like the deeper that you go in, if you pass like the first layer of memes and people joking around, it becomes this black hole of moral dilemmas and arguments. And it seems like no one seems to agree on any aspect.
Yeah, I don't know why it's just, like you're saying, just a spiral of just bickering amongst everyone, amongst ourselves. Like, again, it's just easy as voyeurism happened. That's against the law. Question mark, I'm assuming it is. He should get in trouble. The guy's there who didn't do anything wrong, like cheating, didn't do anything wrong, but the guys who did cheat, they did do something wrong. It's that simple. Like, again, things aren't mutually exclusive. We can have some bad apples in this that are like on top of Uncle Red, but then not all of them have to be a bad apple too. Like, we're not generalizing everybody. Shouldn't like generalize this group or any group, right? So it shouldn't be done here either.
It seems like at some point people start diverging in their thoughts and their moral opinions of like, okay, well, maybe some people think it's okay up until this point. Some people are like, it isn't okay up until this point. And it just goes on and on. What are your thoughts though? Side note, Uncle Red is, if sentenced, which he likely will be, he will probably spend at least 10 years in prison, if not more, considering how strict the justice system is in China.
10 years? That's a long time. I don't know how long I was expecting. I don't know if it was going to be 10 years.
But what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe. I will see you in the next one.
Okay, so that's the end of that video. It's weird that it just deteriorated into everyone just fighting amongst themselves. But that's just how everything always ends up, right? Just nobody can get along. It's always us versus them scenario in society, right? You can't just have people agreeing on something. It's always us versus them. There's just too many cliques and branches and whatnots. Gender war is never going to stop, unfortunately, on both sides. We had this was very leaning towards this video was leading towards man bad, I guess, question mark. Not really, but I mean Stephanie is a woman, so there might be some bias there. But like earlier, like most of the things that were being said that were like obviously misogynistic and like bad were just all the men's side, right? We didn't really get any like portrayals of women saying anything bad, question mark, in this video. Like we didn't get to have both sides being bad. We just only had like men saying bad stuff, unless I missed like that part. I wasn't paying attention. But I don't know why it has it devolved to us just bickering, right? Again, I've already said my opinion is just he recorded without consent. That's against the law. Some of these cheaters, they're bad. Some of these guys were probably just lonely. So they're just victims. Like, even the bad guys here are victims, but they're still bad. Like, a bad guy can still be a victim, right? And whatnot. I don't know if there's anything else to go into, or if there's anything I missed on this. I think this one could be, like, very divisive, right? Since apparently they're being so divisive, I wouldn't be surprised if I have, like, 1 million hate comments on this video, because I don't know if I said anything bad this time around. I wouldn't be surprised if I already have like thumbs down. I know there's like at one point half the viewers left, and then I don't know if that ever went back up. Half the viewers left at one point, so clearly I said something, or maybe that was just weird timing and everyone just had to go. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just wondering if this one will be as divisive as it is in the video, and I'll actually get some hate for this one. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if there's anything else I have to say. I mean, if there's anything I need to say about this, one, other than like what I've already said like 100 times, like things can be like nothing is mutually exclusive, and we can have multiple stacks of wrongs at the same time, and whatnot. I think that's just going to be it for the day for this video. Again, we will be doing this video in 2 days, I think. Which is just like, this one seems like it's going to be crazy, right? She potentially killed both of her parents, or she did kill both her parents when she's trying to hide it off like she is looking for her mom, but she was the one who actually did it the whole time. Tomorrow, don't know what we're going to do though. This is 2 days from now. Tomorrow, I don't know, maybe just nukes top 5 so we can have like a break. Don't know. But yeah, that is going to be it for today. No one's really asking for opinion on anything else, so I think we are good to go on that. Again, if there's any suggestions on what I should be doing, because we are not necessarily running out, but we only have like one more new video from Mango here, though we do have like 8,000 Chinaverse videos still to do, I think. So we still have a lot of that stuff to do. And then, of course, all the Dark Asia stuff on the in-between videos. Nukes, if I have to roll back to that. Again, tomorrow might be Nukes Top 5. We watch a bunch of silly ghost stuff. I think I want to watch SCP-096 video one of these days, just because I mentioned we're going to go back to the Karen case for now. In the Karen case, I was mentioning people's last names and they being related to like stories, and the one doctor in that, like Alexi or whatever, Dr. Alexi, in the Karen case, I was like, that name sounds familiar. There's a Dr. Alexi in some sort of media that I know about, but I can't remember. I remembered it the other day. I think Dr. Alexi is from the SCP franchise, or whatever you want to call it, which I don't know if anybody here even knows what the SCP is, but it's like this whole big literary, I don't even know how to describe it. Anthology is not even the right word. Mass collection of stories, I think, is a good term. And in this, I don't know, reality franchise, I think there's a guy named Dr. Alexi, and in the short film of 096, Dr. Alexi is in that. So that's what I was remembering the other day. So maybe I'll just watch it, even though I've seen that like several times. I've watched it. I watched people react to it. I might just watch it just to show people on the channel, because I would love to do SCP stuff on the channel, because it is like one of my favorite things, I think, in life, because I don't know how to refer to it as my favorite mass collection of stories, I should say, because I don't know how to describe it. But I've been rambling for too long. I don't think anybody cares about this. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers, to think about becoming a member, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we're working on watch time and subscribers. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. But guys, thanks for watching. Tune to the next episode. Like, subscribe, comment. Do the do. See ya.